There is a specific kind of silence, a unique hum in the universe that we tune into in the late hours of the night or the earliest moments of the morning when the world outside is still. It's in this quiet space that we often feel the weight of our lives most acutely. You might know the feeling, a familiar tightening in the chest as you glance at a bank statement, the subtle dread that accompanies the ping of an email reminding you of a bill that is due. It is a quiet, persistent anxiety, a low-grade frequency of lack that so many of us have been tuned into for our entire lives, a background static that we've accepted as normal. We have been taught a specific story about money, a philosophy of scarcity. We've been told that prosperity is a finite resource, an external thing that exists outside of us, something we must chase and fight for and exhaust ourselves to acquire. We've been led to believe that our value as human beings is somehow tied to the numbers that appear on a screen, and this belief has trapped us in a cycle of striving and stress, a treadmill of never having or being quite enough. We have spent our lives chasing a shadow on the wall, forgetting entirely about the brilliant, infinite light that casts it. But what if that entire story was a misunderstanding? What if you could fundamentally rewrite that script, not over the course of a lifetime, but in just 40 days? This journey we are about to embark on is based on a powerful piece of spiritual technology, a book called The Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. But it is more than just a book. It is an energetic blueprint for a revolution in consciousness, and we will explore it here, together, in a format designed for our modern lives, a guided audio experience that allows you to absorb these truths while you drive, while you work, while you walk, or while you simply rest. This is not about learning new tricks to make more money. This is about undergoing a profound transformation of being. It's a journey of recalibration, of tuning your very essence away from the frequency of lack and aligning it with the cosmic, unending rhythm of abundance. This is an invitation to step out of the shadows and turn toward the light, to begin a 40-day process of remembering who you truly are and reconnecting with the one infinite, unfailing, and ever-present source of all good in the universe. Your journey of transformation begins now. Welcome to the first step of our 40-day journey. Today, we lay the cornerstone upon which our new consciousness of prosperity will be built. This first principle is the most important, the most profound, and perhaps the most radical idea you will encounter, for it changes everything. The principle is this: there is only one source of supply in the universe. Call it God, call it universal mind, the divine presence, or simply the source. The name is unimportant, but the understanding is vital. This source is the omnipresent, unlimited, and immediate origin of all things. It is the invisible substance from which all form is created. From the farthest galaxies to the smallest grain of sand, from the vastness of the ocean to the single-dollar bill in your pocket, everything you can see, touch, or imagine is simply this one divine substance taking on a specific shape and form. This source is not something distant or separate from you, sitting up in the heavens, judging and deciding who gets what. That is an illusion created by the human ego, a story of separation that has been the cause of all fear and lack since the dawn of time. The truth is, this rich, omnipresent substance is your very being. You are not separate from it. You are a unique individual expression of it. You are not a puppet that the universe controls. You are the universe in miniature, experiencing itself. Think of the ocean and a wave. A wave is a temporary expression on the surface of the water. It has a beginning and an end, a specific shape and size. But what is the wave made of? It is made of ocean. Its entire substance, its very reality, is ocean. It can never be separate from the ocean, because it is ocean. In the same way, you are a unique, individual wave on the surface of the cosmic ocean of being. You have a name, a body, a personality, but your essential substance, the very energy that animates you, is the one source. The feeling of lack, the fear that there isn't enough, comes from the wave forgetting it is the ocean and believing it is only a small, isolated form, at the mercy of the winds and tides. The journey to abundance begins with this profound remembrance, this shift in identity, from believing you are the finite wave to knowing you are the infinite ocean. When you truly grasp this, you understand that you can never be cut off from your supply, because you are your supply. The source of infinite wealth is not outside of you. It is the very reality of your own being. So for our first day, our first practice is to let this truth sink deep into our consciousness. Find a quiet moment and let these words become your reality. Repeat them slowly. Feel their meaning. Let them dissolve the old illusions. The statement is, God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality one of me. Let's break that down. Lavish, unfailing abundance. This isn't a stingy, limited source. It is extravagant, generous, and it can never run out. It is always giving, always flowing. The rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. It is everywhere at once, in all things, filling all space. There is no spot where it is not. And the most powerful part, this all-providing source is individualized as me, the reality of me. This is the great claim. You are not begging a distant God for supply. You are declaring that the source itself has taken form as you. Your true self, the reality behind the mask of your personality, is this infinite source of all good. Meditate on this today. Write it down. Say it aloud. Let it be the first thought in the morning and the last thought at night. This is day 1. You are re-establishing your connection to the one and only source. Now we move to our second day, and we must address the greatest idol of the modern world, the source of so much stress and the object of so much desire: money. Having established the truth of the one source, we must now understand the great illusion concerning money. And the truth is this: money is not your supply. Let me repeat that, so it sinks past the years of conditioning. Money is not your source of supply. The source of your supply is your consciousness, your awareness, your acceptance of the one divine presence as the wellspring of all your good. Money is merely one of the effects, one of the symbols, one of the shadows cast by this inner light. To pursue money is to chase a shadow. You can run after a shadow your entire life, and you will only grow tired. You can never grasp it, hold it, or derive any true substance from it. But if you turn your back to the shadow and walk toward the light that casts it, the shadow has no choice but to follow you. This is the great secret. Stop chasing money. Stop giving it your power. Turn your full attention to the source within you, the divine light of your own consciousness, and the symbols of that reality, including money, must and will follow. We have been hypnotized by society to believe that pieces of paper and metal coins hold the power of life and death, of happiness and misery. We check our accounts and let the numbers dictate our feelings, our sense of security, our very worth. We have made money a master, and we have become its slave. Today, we break that hypnotic spell. Money is a tool. It is a convenience. It is a beautiful and wonderful servant, but a terrible master. It is simply a medium of exchange, a way for us to trade the value of our talents and services. In itself, it is neutral energy. It is our consciousness, our fear, or our faith that gives it its power over us. When you look at your wallet or your bank account with fear, you are declaring that this external symbol is your source and that it is running out. You are affirming lack. But when you can look at it with detachment and see it simply as a channel, a riverbed through which the infinite ocean of your supply can flow, then you reclaim your power. Your security does not come from money. Your security comes from the unshakable inner knowing that the source within you is infinite and can never fail. When you know this, you can be at peace whether your account has $10 or $10 million in it, because you know the numbers are just a temporary reflection, not the reality itself. The work of this journey is not about manipulating the outer world to get more money. The work is entirely internal. It is about shifting your consciousness from a belief in external power to an absolute reliance on the inner source. So for our second day, our practice is to cement this new relationship with money. Our statement for meditation is, I lift up my mind and heart to be aware, to understand, and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. 2. Notice the action in these words. I lift up my mind and heart. This signifies a conscious choice to stop looking down at the material world of effects and appearances for our truth. We lift our gaze upward, inward, to the spiritual reality. And what do we lift it up to know? That the divine presence I am is the source. The great I am is the name of God, the name of your true self. You are affirming that your own divine identity is the one and only cause, the substance, the reality of all your good. This statement dethrones money and reinstalls the source to its rightful place on the throne of your consciousness. So let us bring these first 2 foundational days to a close. We have made the 2 most important decisions of this entire journey. First, we have identified the true, single, infinite source of all supply. And second, we have put money in its proper place, as a symbol and a servant, not a source or a master. We have turned away from the shadow and have begun to face the light. Everything else we do from this point forward will be built upon this unshakable foundation. Do not rush past these ideas. They are the entire key. Spend these first 2 days truly living with them, contemplating them, and allowing them to wash away a lifetime of false conditioning. For now that we know where the true source of our good resides, we must next learn about the creative mechanism we all possess, the mental and spiritual tool through which we shape this infinite substance into the specific forms of our desires. We must now explore the power of our own consciousness, the divine blueprint for our lives. In our first 2 days, we established the bedrock of our new spiritual understanding that there is only one source of all good, and that money is merely its shadow, a symbol, and not the source itself. This raises a profound and practical question. If this infinite, abundant substance is everywhere, equally present for everyone, then why do our experiences differ so vastly? Why does one person live in a consciousness of wealth, while another lives in a reality of lack? The answer lies in the great creative medium that stands between the invisible world of source and the visible world of form. That medium is your own consciousness. Your consciousness is the bridge, the workshop, the soil in which the seeds of the invisible are nurtured into the fruits of the visible. What you hold in consciousness, what you accept as true in the deepest parts of your being, becomes the law of your life. It is the blueprint you hand to the universe, and the universe, as the master builder, constructs your life with perfect, impersonal precision according to that blueprint. This is the principle of mind as the builder. Your outer world is nothing more and nothing less than a perfect mirror reflecting your inner world. If you want to know what you truly believe about life, about money, about yourself, you don't need to dig through your subconscious for hours. Simply look at the conditions of your life. Your life is your creed made visible. It is the prayer you have been praying, made manifest. This can be a difficult truth to accept because it places full responsibility in our hands. It's easier to blame the economy, our boss, our family, or our luck. But accepting this truth is also the key to our ultimate freedom. For if our consciousness created our current reality of lack, then by changing our consciousness, we have the absolute power to create a new reality of abundance. The reflection in the mirror must change if the face in front of it changes. The outer world has no choice but to conform to the new inner state. Wealth and poverty are not conditions of your bank account. They are first and foremost conditions of your mind. A poverty consciousness, filled with thoughts of fear, competition, worry, and "I can't afford it," will meticulously and unfailingly create a life of limitation. An abundance consciousness, one that is cultivated to see sufficiency, opportunity, flow, and trust, will just as unfailingly create a life of prosperity and ease. Think of yourself as an architect. Your mind, your dominant state of awareness, holds the blueprint for your life. The universal law of mind is the builder, the construction crew. This builder is infinitely powerful and efficient, but it has no personal opinion. It will not judge your blueprint. Its only job is to build what you give it. If you constantly hold a blueprint of a tiny rundown shack, filled with details of leaky roofs and cracked walls which are your thoughts of lack, your fears of not having enough, your memories of past failures, the builder will say yes and construct that exact reality for you. But if you begin the work of drawing a new blueprint, a blueprint for a magnificent mansion with spacious rooms, beautiful gardens, and a solid foundation, which are your thoughts of abundance, your feelings of gratitude, your faith in the one source. Then the builder will just as readily say yes and begin gathering the materials to construct that new reality. The work is not in the lifting of bricks or the pouring of concrete. The work is on the drawing board of your own mind. So for our third day, we affirm this truth. We reclaim our power as the architects of our lives with this statement: my mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone one before. Let's feel the power here. My mind is a center of divine operation. Your mind is not some small, isolated personal possession. It is a focal point where the entire creative intelligence of the universe is working. And what is the nature of this divine operation? It is always for expansion and fuller expression. The nature of life is to grow, to become more, to express more joy, more beauty, more harmony. Life never desires to shrink or to be less. Therefore, when your mind is aligned with this divine operation, its natural function is to produce something greater, better, and more abundant than anything you have experienced before. You are affirming that growth is your natural state. This leads us to a beautiful and comforting realization for our fourth day. If our mind is the blueprint, we are not left alone to try and draw this grand design from scratch. In the universal mind, there already exists a perfect pattern, a divine plan for your life. This is not a rigid, unchangeable destiny, but rather the blueprint of your highest potential. It is the design for a life of complete fulfillment, perfect health, boundless joy, and unlimited, creative expression in a state of abundance. It is the architect's original, flawless design for your soul's mansion, held in the infinite intelligence of the source. Your human task is not one of stressful invention, of trying to figure everything out and force it to happen. Your primary task is one of revelation. It is to uncover and allow this pre-existing divine plan to unfold through you. What then has been obscuring this perfect plan? It is the layers of negative belief we have accumulated over a lifetime, our fears, our doubts, our inherited family beliefs about lack, our societal conditioning that we are small and limited. These are like layers of dust, mud, and grime that have been caked onto a magnificent painting. The masterpiece has always been there, but its beauty is hidden. Therefore, our spiritual work is not a work of addition, but of subtraction. We are not trying to build something that doesn't exist. We are simply cleaning the canvas of our mind, scrubbing away the dirt of false beliefs so that the masterpiece of the divine plan can finally be seen. This understanding should bring a great sense of peace and relief. It takes the pressure off. You do not have to carry the immense burden of creating your own good from nothing. You only have to get your own negative thinking out of the way. You have to learn to cooperate with the perfection that is already seeking to express itself as you. It is a process of yielding, of surrendering the small, fearful ego mind to the grand, intelligent design of your higher self. It is a process of letting go so that the divine can rush in. And so, our statement for day 4 is a declaration of this peaceful cooperation. It is: I am a center of divine operation, and my single purpose is to let this divine plan be fulfilled in my life. This powerfully reorients your entire perspective. It affirms your true identity as a point of divine power, and it clarifies your purpose. It's not to struggle, or strive, or worry. Your single purpose is to let, to allow, to permit, to get out of the way and create a space of acceptance through which the river of divine good can flow unimpeded, shaping your life according to its own perfect, joyful, and abundant course. Let these truths for day 3 and day 4 transform your understanding of your own power. You are the architect, and your consciousness is the blueprint. But you are not alone in the design process. A perfect, divine plan for your abundant life already exists. Your job is to clear the drawing board of all the smudges of doubt and fear, and allow that perfect plan to be drawn through you. You are moving from a state of anxious effort to one of faithful allowance. You are learning to cooperate with the infinite. But if consciousness is the blueprint, What are the pens and pencils we use to draw it? What are the tools we use, moment by moment, to either sketch the details of a shack or the glories of a mansion? The most immediate and constantly used tools are your words, the very thoughts you think and the statements you speak. We must now learn how to use these tools with conscious intent to proclaim our good into existence. We have established two pillars of truth upon which to build our new reality. First, that there is only one, infinite, and ever-present source for all our good. And second, that our own consciousness is the creative blueprint that gives form to this infinite substance. We now arrive at the tools of the architect, the very instruments we use to draw the details of this blueprint moment by moment. These tools are so common, so constantly in use, that we have forgotten their immense creative power. These tools are your words. Every thought you think and every word you speak is a creative act. Words are not merely descriptive sounds. They are vibrational containers of power. They are living things. When you speak, you are taking the unformed, universal energy and giving it a command, shaping it into a specific frequency. You are literally speaking your world into existence. The ancient texts say, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was made flesh." This is not just a mystical poem, it is a statement of metaphysical law. Your word, your dominant pattern of speech and thought, becomes the flesh, the physical reality of your life. The universal creative intelligence does not argue with you. It does not judge whether your words are beneficial or harmful. It is a completely impersonal law. Like the law of electricity. Electricity doesn't care if you use it to light a hospital or to power an instrument of destruction. It simply delivers the current. In the same way, the law of mind simply takes your words as commands and sets about to manifest them. This is why casual, unconscious speech is one of the most destructive habits a person can have. Every time you say, "I'm always so broke before payday," you have just issued a powerful command to the universe. The universe doesn't hear it as a complaint, it hears it as an order for your reality, and it responds, "Yes, so it is." Every time you say, "I just can't seem to get ahead," you are creating a wall of energy that prevents you from moving forward. Every time you joke, "With my luck, I'll probably lose it," you are writing a binding contract with failure. Your words are wands of power, and for most of our lives, we have been waving them around unconsciously, creating chaos and limitation, and then wondering why our lives are so difficult. The journey to abundance requires that we become conscious masters of our words. Within the vast arsenal of language, there is one phrase that stands above all others in its creative potency. It is the most powerful statement you can ever utter, for it is the very name of God, the name of being itself. That phrase is, "I am." When you say "I am," you are not just describing yourself. You are fusing your identity with the nameless, formless, divine presence. You are literally declaring, "That which I am calling forth, I am." Whatever you attach to "I am," you become. This is the great secret and the great danger. For most of us, this power has been used against ourselves. We say, "I am tired. I am sick. I am lonely. I am struggling. I am poor." These are not descriptions of temporary states. They are profound spiritual affirmations that command the universe to create more of that reality for you. They are prayers for what you do not want. The great work is to seize control of your "I am" and attach it only to that which you wish to be and to experience. It may feel like a lie at first. Your senses may scream back at you. "No, you are not wealthy. Look at your bank account." But your senses can only report on past creations, on the results of your old thinking. When you declare, "I am wealthy. I am prosperous. I am a radiant expression of divine abundance," you are not describing your current circumstances. You are declaring a higher truth. You are speaking the language of the source, not the language of the senses. You are invoking the reality that exists in the divine plan and commanding it to manifest in your world. The fact may be that there is little money in your wallet, but the truth is that you are the rich substance of God. You must choose to align yourself with the truth, not the fact. For in aligning with the truth, you change the fact. So for our 5th day, we will use this supreme power of proclamation. Our statement is this: I am the rich substance of God. and I now have all the money I need and all the opportunities I can use. Let this statement permeate your being. Feel the authority in it. I am the rich substance of God. This is a radical claim of your true identity. You are not a beggar asking for crumbs. You are declaring that you are made of the very stuff of riches itself. And then the second part. And I now have all the money I need. Notice the power of the present tense. Not I will have, which forever keeps your good in the future. Not I hope to have, which is rooted in doubt, but I now have. You are accepting it in your consciousness, which is the only place creation truly happens. You are collapsing time and bringing your future good into your present reality. Repeat this statement. Feel the security and peace that comes from knowing this truth. You are shifting your entire energetic signature from one of seeking to one of having. This leads us to the practical discipline for day 6. It is one thing to say an affirmation for a few minutes and another to live it. For the next 24 hours and beyond, your task is to become a vigilant guardian at the gate of your mouth. You must go on a mental diet and starve your problems by refusing to speak of them. Make a vow to yourself that you will not utter a single word that affirms lack or limitation. No complaining about prices, no lamenting about bills, no participating in conversations about how bad the economy is, no negative self-talk about your financial situation. This is a profound discipline. You will be astonished at how often you are tempted to speak of lack, how deeply ingrained the habit is. It has become a form of social connection, to bond with others over shared struggles. You must lovingly withdraw from this low-frequency conversation. If a negative thought about money arises, catch it. See it for what it is, an old program running, and consciously say in your mind, cancel, and immediately replace it with your I am statement. This is the act of consciously reprogramming your mind. Imagine your life as a magnificent, powerful ship, sailing on the ocean of eternity. Your words are the rudder of that ship. A rudder is a very small part of the vessel, but its position determines the entire direction of the journey. A small, consistent pressure on the rudder will turn the entire ship and guide it to a completely new destination. Your conscious, disciplined speech is that small, consistent pressure. Every time you choose to speak of abundance instead of lack, you are turning the rudder of your life toward the port of prosperity. Every time you indulge in a complaint or a worry, you are letting the rudder swing wildly, allowing your ship to be tossed by the waves of circumstance. Or worse, steering it toward the rocks of failure. Today, you take firm control of that rudder. Your statement of intent, your vow for day 6, is this. From this day forward, I will not talk about lack, limitation, or financial problems. I will discipline myself to speak only of God's abundance, and I will keep my mind focused on the truth. This is your sacred promise. It is an act of profound self-love and spiritual maturity. It acknowledges that this requires discipline, a training of the mind. It aligns your outer word with your inner knowing, creating a powerful, harmonious resonance that the universe must respond to. So we conclude these 2 days having claimed our creative power. We understand that our words are not empty sounds, but wands of manifestation. We have claimed the supreme authority of our I am identity, and we have taken a vow to discipline our speech, to steer our great ship with intention and purpose. We are now holding the tools of the architect. We are ready to draw the new blueprint. But before a farmer can plant new seeds in a field, they must first do the hard work of pulling up the old weeds and rocks that have choked the soil for years. The soil of our subconscious mind is often filled with the weeds of old, limiting beliefs. To ensure our new words of power can take root and grow, we must now turn our attention to clearing the debris of the past. We have now arrived at a crucial stage in our journey. We have identified the one true source of our good. We understand that our consciousness is the creative blueprint, and we have begun to wield the power of our words, our sacred I am proclamations, as the tools to draw our new reality. And yet, many of us may experience a frustration at this point. We may be making our affirmations, speaking words of abundance, but it can feel like we are shouting into the wind, that our words are not taking root. This is because for years, long before we began this conscious work, The garden of our subconscious mind has been seeded and cultivated by others. Our parents, our society, our early experiences have planted a dense thicket of weeds, rocks, and thorny bushes that are now choking the soil. Before our new powerful seeds of truth can flourish, we must first become spiritual gardeners. We must roll up our sleeves and do the courageous work of clearing the debris of the past. Think of your subconscious mind as a plot of fertile land. When you were a child, this garden was open and receptive. And into this garden, seeds were dropped. If you grew up hearing your parents argue about money, a seed of anxiety was planted. If you were constantly told, "We can't afford that," a seed of limitation was planted. If you heard phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "filthy rich," a seed of struggle and a seed of judgment were planted. The cultural and religious messages we received also dropped their own seeds. Many of us were taught to be suspicious of wealth, to believe that there is virtue in poverty and sin in riches. We heard stories that made us associate money with greed, corruption, and a lack of spirituality. These ideas took root in our subconscious and grew into thick, thorny weeds that now silently dictate our relationship with abundance. These beliefs operate as an invisible filter. The infinite abundance of the universe may be raining down upon you, but if your mind is filtered through a belief that money is hard to get, or "I don't deserve to be wealthy," only a tiny trickle can get through. These beliefs are the hidden programs running in the background of your life, sabotaging your best efforts and canceling out your most powerful affirmations. So for our 7th day, our task is one of gentle, non-judgmental archaeology. We are going to shine a light into the garden and identify exactly what has been growing there. Take out a piece of paper and a pen. This is not a casual mental exercise, it is a sacred act of liberation. On this paper, I want you to write down every single negative or limiting belief about money that you can possibly think of. Be ruthlessly honest with yourself. What did you learn from your family? What have you concluded from your past failures? What do you secretly believe about rich people? What do you secretly believe about yourself in relation to money? Write it all down. Beliefs like, "Money is the root of all evil. You have to work brutally hard to get rich. I'm just not good with money. There's never enough to go around. Wanting a lot of money is selfish. If I become wealthy, my friends will resent me." As you write, do not judge yourself. You are not to blame for these beliefs. You did not consciously choose them. You absorbed them. The act of writing them down is the act of pulling the weed out of the dark soil and exposing it to the light of your conscious awareness. A weed cannot survive for long when it is uprooted and left in the sun. Our statement of intent for day 7 is one of observation and release. I now look at all my old beliefs about money, and I see them not as truths, but as learned patterns. I am willing to release them now. You are creating a separation. You are no longer identifying with the beliefs. You are observing them as external programs you are now ready to delete. This brings us to day 8, and the powerful metaphysical process for permanently removing these weeds and ensuring they cannot grow back. This process involves 2 steps, denial and affirmation. In a spiritual context, denial does not mean pretending a problem doesn't exist. It means consciously and deliberately denying its reality and its power over you. It is the act of withdrawing your belief from it, which is the only thing giving it life. You look at the weed, the written belief on your paper, such as, "There's never enough," and you make a powerful declaration to it. You are a lie. There is no truth in you. You have no place in my mind and no power in my world. The only reality is the infinite, unfailing abundance of the one source. I deny you. You are revoking its permission to live in the sacred garden of your mind. But this is only the first step. Denial creates a vacuum, an empty space in the soil where the weed used to be. If you leave this space empty, the old weed or a new one can easily grow back. You must immediately plant something new in its place. This is the act of affirmation. After denying the lie, you must immediately and powerfully affirm the truth. After denying, "There's never enough," you must immediately affirm, "I am one with the infinite source of all supply, and I live in a state of constant, overflowing abundance. There's always more than enough." This two-step process is the key to reprogramming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like a loyal and powerful servant, but it does not reason. It simply accepts whatever is impressed upon it with frequency and feeling. For years, it has been impressed with beliefs of lack. Your job now is to become the master programmer and deliberately impress a new set of beliefs upon it. So, take your list of negative beliefs from yesterday. On the other side of the paper, or next to each one, you are going to write its powerful, positive opposite. For every lie, you will write the truth. If you wrote, "Rich people are greedy," you will write, "Wealth is a powerful tool for good in the world. I use my expanding abundance to bless myself and to be a blessing to others." If you wrote, "I'm not smart enough to be wealthy," you will write, "I am an individualization of divine mind. I am supplied with all the wisdom, intelligence, and creativity I need to produce magnificent abundance." If you wrote, "It's not spiritual to want money," you will write, "Abundance is the natural expression of God. I am a spiritual being, and it is my birthright to express fullness, joy, and freedom in every area of my life, including my finances." This becomes your reversal sheet, your personal scripture of liberation. The practice for day 8 is to work with this sheet. Spend time each day reading the old belief, feeling its falsehood, and then denying its power. Then, read the new affirmation, and do your best to feel the truth of it. Let the feeling of freedom, of worthiness, of ease wash over you. The formal statement to consecrate this practice is this: I deny the power of every old belief based in lack and limitation. I affirm the one truth of abundance, and I impress this truth upon my subconscious mind now. My mind is now a clean and fertile soil for the seeds of prosperity. Say this with conviction. You are the master of your inner world. You have the power and the authority to decide what grows in your garden. We have now completed 2 of the most courageous days of our journey. We have faced the shadows of the past, not with judgment, but with the light of awareness. We have uprooted the limiting beliefs that have held us captive, and we have cleansed the soil of our mind with the powerful spiritual science of denial and affirmation. The garden is now prepared. The new seeds of truth have been planted. But as any gardener knows, in the early days of a seed's life, when the first tender green shoot pushes through the soil, it is at its most vulnerable. It can be threatened by a sudden frost, a harsh wind that can stunt its growth or even kill it. In our spiritual garden, this chilling wind has a name: doubt. We have cleared the past. Now we must learn to stand firm in the present and master the subtle but powerful vibration of doubt. We have now walked through the sacred process of preparing our inner world. We have become spiritual gardeners, courageously pulling the thorny weeds of our old limiting beliefs and cleansing the very soil of our subconscious mind. We have planted new, powerful seeds of truth, our I am affirmations, declaring our oneness with the infinite source of all good. But as any gardener knows, the moment a tender green sprout first breaks through the soil is a moment of great vulnerability. It is a time when a sudden frost or a harsh wind can undo all our work. In our journey toward an abundance consciousness, this chilling frost, this harsh wind, has a name: doubt. This is the great adversary of all manifestation, the subtle creeping vibration that can wither our dreams before they have a chance to bloom. Our next 2 days are dedicated to mastering this adversary, to building a fortress of faith around our new and growing consciousness. Doubt, from a metaphysical perspective, is far more than just a fleeting thought. It is a specific, low-frequency vibration. It is the energy of uncertainty, of fear, of what if this doesn't work. And it acts as a powerful energetic neutralizer. You can spend your morning affirming your abundance, creating a beautiful high-frequency vibration of faith. But the moment you allow doubt to take hold, it's like pouring water on a fire. It lowers your frequency and effectively cancels out your prayer. The primary source of doubt is our reliance on the 5 senses. The ego mind trusts only what it can see, hear, and touch. So you make your affirmations, you feel good for a moment, and then the ego looks at the pile of bills on the table, it checks the bank account, it listens to the news about the economy, and it screams, "See, nothing is changing, this is all nonsense." Be realistic. This is the great test. It is a battle between two realities, the temporary, lagging reality being reported by your five senses, and the eternal, causal reality that you are building in your consciousness. To overcome doubt, you must make a conscious decision to give more power, more belief, and more attention to the unseen world of truth than to the seen world of appearances. This is the great war between fact and truth. The fact may be that your bank account is low, but the truth is that you are an individualization of an infinite and unfailing source. The fact may be that you just received a rejection notice, but the truth is that the divine plan for your life is one of perfect, unfolding good. And this seeming rejection is simply the closing of one door to allow a better one to open. Doubt is the result of worshiping the fact instead of the truth. When you allow the outer circumstances to dictate your inner feeling, you give away your creative power. Your spiritual discipline is to hold fast to the truth of your being, no matter what the so-called facts are screaming at you. You must learn to trust the reality you are building in your mind more than the reality you are currently experiencing with your body. So, for our 9th day, we practice the art of starving doubt. We do this by withdrawing our attention from it. When the thought of doubt arises, you must refuse to engage it. Do not argue with it. Do not analyze it. Simply turn your mind away from it. Treat it like a radio station playing static. You simply change the channel. You immediately replace the thought of doubt with your affirmation of truth. Our statement for day 9 is a powerful declaration of where we place our allegiance. I give no power to the world of appearances. I place my full faith and trust in the invisible source, which is my constant and unfailing supply. I believe in the truth, not the fact. Repeat this as your shield and your anchor whenever the winds of doubt begin to blow. This discipline of faith requires persistence, which brings us to our 10th day. Building faith is not an overnight event, it is a process. Consider the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. After the farmer plants the seed, he must water and fertilize the ground for 4, sometimes 5, years with absolutely no visible sign of growth. Nothing breaks the surface. A person operating from a consciousness of doubt would give up after a few months, declaring the seed dead and the effort wasted. But the wise farmer persists, because he knows that during these years, something powerful and essential is happening unseen beneath the surface. The bamboo is building a vast, intricate, and incredibly strong root system. It is creating the foundation necessary to support the magnificent growth that is to come. And then, when the foundation is ready, in the 5th year, the bamboo tree explodes from the ground, growing at a breathtaking rate, sometimes as much as 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Your spiritual work is exactly like this. These 40 days, and perhaps the weeks and months that follow, are your time of building your root system of faith. You are consistently watering your new beliefs with affirmations, fertilizing them with feeling, even when you see little to no change on the surface of your life. Every time you feel the pull of doubt and you choose to affirm the truth instead, you are adding another root to your foundation. You are making your faith stronger, deeper, and more resilient. Think of faith as a muscle. You cannot walk into a gym for the first time, lift the heaviest weight once, and declare yourself strong. It doesn't work that way. You build muscle through consistency and progressive resistance. You start with a weight you can handle, and you lift it again and again and again. In the same way, you build your faith muscle, not by trying to have mountain-moving faith on day 1, but by consistently lifting your affirmations against the resistance of your daily doubts. Each time a bill arrives and you choose to feel gratitude instead of fear, you have just done one repetition. Each time you hear bad news and you choose to affirm that divine order is at work, you have just done another repetition. At first, it feels like hard work. But with persistence, the muscle grows stronger. Soon, you find that it takes less effort to choose faith. It becomes your natural posture. You live in a state of confident trust because you have put in the work to build the inner foundation. So the practice for day 10 is a vow of spiritual endurance. It is the commitment to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to all outer evidence that contradicts the good you are claiming. It is a willful, disciplined focus on your inner vision. Your statement of power is this: I am persistent in my faith. I am building my consciousness of abundance day by day. Like the bamboo, my roots of faith are growing deep and strong, and I know that my outer world manifestation is imminent and assured. Speak this with the quiet confidence of the farmer who knows what is happening beneath the soil. So we conclude these 2 days having faced doubt, our greatest adversary, and having chosen to stand firm. We understand now that doubt is a low-frequency vibration that feeds on the facts of the outer world. We have learned to pledge our allegiance to the inner truth, and we have committed ourselves to the patient, persistent work of building our faith muscle, knowing that our unseen work is creating a powerful foundation. The garden is now protected. The roots of our new consciousness are growing stronger every day. Now that the foundation is secure, it is time to open the gates, to unlock the channels through which our visible, tangible good can begin to flow into our lives. We must now engage with one of the most dynamic and powerful laws of prosperity, the sacred principle of circulation, the divine act of giving. Our inner world is now fortified. We have cleared the garden of our mind, planted the seeds of truth, and built a fortress of faith to protect them from the harsh winds of doubt. The foundation is secure. The roots of our new consciousness are growing deep and strong. Now, it is time to open the floodgates. It is time to learn the dynamic, living law of prosperity that ensures our good doesn't just remain an inner potential, but flows into our lives as tangible, visible reality. The universe operates on a principle of flow, of circulation. Abundance is not a static pool of water to be hoarded. It is a mighty river that must flow through you, not just to you. To become a vessel of true and lasting prosperity, you must learn to become a flowing river, not a stagnant pond. Considérez un stagnant pont. In its fear of loss, it desperately tries to hold on to every drop of water it has. It refuses to let any of it go. And what is the result? The water becomes murky, lifeless, and choked with algae. It cannot receive any fresh rain because it is already full of stale water. Eventually, it evaporates and dries up completely. This is the consciousness of lack. It is the mindset of hoarding, of fearing bills, of clinging tightly to every dollar, terrified that it won't be replaced. Now, consider a mighty river. The river gives of itself freely and constantly. It pours its water out into the ocean without a moment's hesitation or fear. And yet, the river is always full, always fresh, always teeming with life. Why? Because it is connected to a source up in the mountains that is constantly replenishing it. The river's secret is that its constant outflow is what guarantees its constant inflow. To become prosperous, you must become a river. You must understand that giving is the other half of receiving. They are two sides of the same golden coin. This brings us to day 11 and the ancient, powerful spiritual practice often known as tithing. We must strip this word of its old, rigid, and often fear-based connotations. This is not about a dogmatic obligation to an institution. This is a voluntary, joyous, and profoundly powerful spiritual discipline designed to align you with the universal law of circulation. The principle is this: by systematically giving a portion of all the income you receive, you are making the most powerful statement of faith possible. You are declaring to the universe, with your actions and not just your words, I trust you completely. I am so confident in my infinite, unfailing source that I can joyfully release this portion, knowing there is always more where it came from. This act of deliberate, faith-filled giving creates what mystics call a spiritual vacuum. You create an open space in your affairs, and the universe, which abhors a vacuum, rushes in to fill that space, often pressing it down, shaking it together, and letting it run over with even more than you gave. The key to this practice lies in the spirit in which it is done. The traditional amount is a tenth, or 10%. But the exact number is less important than the consciousness behind it. You must give with love, joy, and a feeling of genuine abundance. Giving out of a sense of fearful obligation, or as a calculated business transaction to get more from God, will short-circuit the entire process. That is stagnant pond thinking. You must give as the river gives freely, joyfully, without demanding a specific return. And where do you give? The principle states that you should give your tithe to the person, place, or source of your spiritual nourishment. Wherever you are being fed the ideas that inspire you, uplift you, and connect you to the truth of your being, that is where you complete the circuit. By giving back to your spiritual source, you honor the flow of life and ensure that the channel of your inspiration remains open and strong. So the practice for day 11 is to make a sacred commitment to become a systematic giver. Decide on a percentage that feels generous and affirming. Identify your source of spiritual food, and begin the joyous practice of completing the divine circuit. Your statement of power is, I joyfully and lovingly release a portion of my income back to the universe, knowing that my source is infinite. By giving, I open the channels for even greater abundance to flow to me. I am a river of life. This principle of circulation extends beyond just the tithe, which brings us to day 12. It applies to the entire flow of money and energy in your life, especially to the area that causes the most anxiety for many: paying bills. For most people, paying a bill is an act of pain. It is accompanied by a feeling of dread, of loss, of their supply dwindling. This is stagnant pond consciousness. It is a declaration of lack. Today, we transform this act of pain into an act of power and gratitude. You must reframe what a bill truly is. A bill is not a demand upon your limited resources. A bill is a testament to the abundance you have already received. Your electricity bill is proof that you have enjoyed light and warmth, and the power to run the technology that enriches your life. Your rent or mortgage payment is proof that you have had the blessing of a safe and comfortable shelter. Your credit card bill is a record of the goods, services, and experiences you were able to enjoy. You are not losing money when you pay a bill. You are simply completing an energy exchange. You are gratefully circulating your money to bless the people and companies who have blessed you with their services. The practice is to change your entire ritual around paying your bills. Instead of approaching them with a heavy heart, gather them together and hold each one in your hands. For your phone bill, give thanks for the ability to connect with loved ones. For your grocery bill, give thanks for the nutritious food that has sustained your body. As you write the check or make the online payment, do so with a feeling of genuine gratitude. Bless the money as it leaves your hands. Silently affirm, I bless this money and send it forth to bless and prosper everyone that it touches. I release it with joy, and I know that it flows back to me multiplied in a tide of unending abundance. By doing this, you transform one of the most stressful parts of your financial life into a powerful, recurring affirmation of prosperity. You are no longer a victim of your expenses. You are a conscious director of abundant energy, a master of circulation. Your statement of truth for day 12 is, I see every bill as a reminder of the universe's abundance. I pay all my debts with gratitude and love, knowing that as I give, I receive. My circulation is perfect, and my supply is infinite. Let us reflect on the profound shift we have made in these 2 days. We have moved from the fearful, hoarding consciousness of a stagnant pond to the confident, generous consciousness of a flowing river. We have learned that giving is not a loss, but the very mechanism that ensures our receiving. We have transformed the painful act of paying bills into a joyous ritual of gratitude and blessing. We have placed ourselves squarely in the divine flow of universal abundance, where the outflow and the inflow are one continuous, happy, and prosperous rhythm. This powerful practice of conscious circulation, however, can be amplified 1,000-fold. Its power is magnified exponentially when it is combined with the single most magnetic frequency we can embody as human beings. We must now dive deep into the creative magic of this golden emotion. It is time to explore the magnetic power of gratitude. We have now learned to become like the flowing river, allowing the divine circulation of giving and receiving to become the natural rhythm of our lives. We have turned the painful act of paying bills into a joyous ritual of gratitude. This practice of conscious circulation is profoundly powerful, but its energy can be amplified 1,000 times over when we combine it with the single most magnetic frequency in the universe. We must now learn to master the golden key that unlocks the treasury of heaven. We must immerse ourselves in the creative magic of gratitude. Gratitude is not simply a polite thank you. It is not a mere social grace. It is a state of being. It is an actual, measurable, and profoundly creative frequency. The universe, in its essence, is a vast field of vibration, and it doesn't respond to your words of supplication or your desperate pleas. It responds, with flawless precision, to the vibration you are currently embodying. The state of wanting, of desiring, of asking, comes from a frequency of lack. When you are desperately wanting something, you are screaming to the universe, "I do not have this. I am incomplete without this." And the universe, which only ever says yes, responds by giving you more of the experience of not having. Gratitude is the master frequency because it is the frequency of the fulfilled desire. It is the vibrational signature of having already received. When you are in a state of genuine gratitude, you are broadcasting a powerful signal to the universe that says, "I have this. I am already whole and complete. Thank you." And the universe, in its perfect, impersonal wisdom, responds by sending you more experiences and things that match that grateful vibration. It has to. It is the law. Think of it like tuning a radio. The beautiful music of abundance, joy, and peace is always being broadcast on a specific, high frequency. Doubt, fear, worry, and complaint are the low-frequency static that makes it impossible to hear the music. Gratitude is the act of deliberately and precisely tuning the dial of your consciousness to the exact frequency where the music is playing. When you are tuned in, you cannot help but hear the symphony of abundance. When you are living in a state of gratitude, you cannot help but experience a life filled with blessings. This brings us to day 13, and an advanced spiritual practice that can collapse the time between your desire and its manifestation. This is the practice of giving thanks for your desires as if they have already become a reality. This is a quantum leap of faith. Instead of praying for your good, you begin to pray from the state of your good already being present. For example, instead of praying, "Universe, please bring me financial freedom," which affirms your current lack of it, you shift your consciousness. You enter a meditative state. You visualize what financial freedom feels like: the peace, the security, the joy, the generosity, and you say, with genuine feeling, "Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for my complete and total financial freedom. I am so grateful for the peace and abundance that are now my constant reality." This is not an act of fooling yourself. It is an act of aligning yourself with the version of reality in the divine plan where your good is already complete. You are choosing to vibrate at the frequency of the answer, not the frequency of the problem. This preemptive gratitude is one of the most potent forms of creative prayer, as it signals to the universe that you are a perfect vibrational match for the good you have asked for. The practice for day 13 is to take one of your most cherished desires, and instead of asking for it, spend time today giving profound and heartfelt thanks for its magnificent fulfillment, right here and right now. Your statement of power is, "I am deeply and profoundly grateful for every good thing in my life. I give thanks for the seen and the unseen, and I am especially grateful for the magnificent abundance that is now flowing into my life in every form." To make this high frequency of gratitude our default state, and not just a fleeting experience, we must anchor it into our daily lives with a consistent ritual. This brings us to day 14, and the foundational habit of keeping a gratitude journal. This simple act, when done with intention, can radically transform your life. The practice is this: every single day, preferably in the morning to set the tone for your day, or at night to reflect on your blessings, you will take a notebook dedicated solely to this purpose. In this journal, you will write down a list of things for which you are genuinely grateful. At first, start with the simple, obvious blessings. I am so grateful for the air I am breathing. I am so grateful for this comfortable bed. I am so grateful for the clean water I drink. I am so ungrateful for the warmth of the sun on my skin. As you do this day after day, you begin to train your brain, your reticular activating system, to actively scan your environment for things to appreciate rather than things to complain about. What you focus on expands. When you focus on blessings, your life fills with more blessings. But the most important part of this practice is not the mechanical act of writing. The magic, the magnetic power, is in the feeling. As you write down each item on your list, do not rush to the next one. Pause. Take a moment to truly feel the emotion of gratitude in your heart. If you write, "I'm grateful for my best friend," close your eyes for a moment and feel the love, the joy, the support that friend brings into your life. Let the warmth of that appreciation spread through your entire body. This feeling is the secret. The feeling is the prayer. The feeling is the magnetic force that draws more good to you. A list of 10 items written without feeling is just ink on paper. One item that is written with a heart overflowing with genuine gratitude is a creative force that can move mountains. The practice for day 14 is to begin this sacred habit today. Get your journal. Write down at least 10 things you are grateful for, and take the time to deeply and truly feel the emotion for each one. Your statement of commitment to this new way of life is, "I am a magnet for miracles. My heart is filled with gratitude, and this gratitude attracts more and more good into my life every day. I see blessings everywhere I look." With these 2 days, we have unlocked the golden key. We now understand that gratitude is not a passive response to good things, but a powerful creative cause of them. We have learned to tune our consciousness to the master frequency of abundance by being grateful for what we have and for what is already ours in the divine plan. We have committed to a daily practice that will rewire our brains and transform our hearts, making us living magnets for miracles, joy, and prosperity. Our inner world is now humming at a high and beautiful frequency. We have cleared our old beliefs, strengthened our faith, opened the channels of circulation, and amplified it all with the power of gratitude. And yet, there may be a few final heavy anchors holding our ship back, preventing us from sailing freely into the ocean of abundance. These anchors are the energetic cords of resentment and guilt that tie us to our past. To be truly free, we must now take up the spiritual sword of compassion and cut these final cords. We must now do the liberating work of the forgiveness of all debt. We have journeyed far. We have aligned our minds with the one source, learned to command our reality with our words, cleared the soil of our subconscious, built a fortress of faith, opened the channels of circulation, and amplified our signal with the golden frequency of gratitude. Our inner world is now humming with a new and powerful vibration. We are poised to receive a magnificent downpour of abundance. And yet, for many of us, there may be a few final heavy anchors deep beneath the surface, still holding our ship back, preventing it from sailing freely into the open ocean of prosperity. These anchors are the energetic debts of the past. They are the dense, heavy vibrations of resentment and guilt. Before we can truly ascend, we must cut these final cords. We must now undertake the profoundly liberating work of forgiveness. Imagine trying to swim to a beautiful sunlit shore, but with a large heavy rock tied to your ankle by a thick rope. No matter how hard you kick, no matter how strong your strokes are, you make little progress. You are exhausted, frustrated, and you feel like you are drowning. This rock is the weight of unforgiveness. Every grudge you hold, every bit of resentment you harbor against someone who wronged you, every drop of guilt you feel over a past mistake, each one adds weight to this rock, anchoring you to the low-frequency consciousness of the past. Forgiveness, then, is not a gift you give to the other person. It is not about condoning their behavior or saying what they did was acceptable. Forgiveness is the purely selfish act of taking a spiritual sword and cutting the rope that ties you to that rock. You don't do it for them, you do it for you, so that you can finally be light enough to swim to shore. You are not letting them off the hook. You are letting yourself off their hook and reclaiming the energy they have been draining from you for years. On day 15, we focus on this great liberation, which happens on 2 levels. First, we must forgive others. Take a moment now to let your mind drift back. Bring to your awareness anyone who has ever wronged you, particularly in the realm of money. A business partner who cheated you, a friend who never repaid a loan, an employer who didn't pay you what you were worth, a family member whose actions created financial hardship for you. Feel the familiar sting of that resentment. Now, understand this. Holding on to that anger is like drinking a cup of poison and waiting for the other person to die. It only harms you. It keeps your vibration tethered to the very injustice you despise. The act of forgiveness is to mentally bring that person before you. Look them in the eye and say from your heart, "I forgive you completely. I no longer hold this against you. I release you, I let you go. You are free from my judgment, and therefore, I am free from you. As you do this, visualize the energetic cord connecting you to them being severed and feel the lightness that comes with that release. The second, and often more difficult level, is forgiving yourself. We are often our own harshest judges. Bring to mind now your own past financial mistakes. The investment that went sour, the business that failed, the foolish purchase you made out of ego, the opportunity you were too afraid to take. For years, you may have been carrying the shame and guilt of these moments, and this has created a deep subconscious belief that says, I don't deserve to be prosperous. I'm not smart enough. I always mess things up. This self-condemnation is a powerful prayer for more failure. You must extend the same grace to yourself that you extend to others. Look at that past version of yourself with compassion. Understand that you did the best you could with the awareness and knowledge you had at that time. Mentally embrace that person and say, I forgive you completely. You are released from my judgment. Your mistake does not define you. Your slate is wiped clean. So the practice for day 15 is to create a release list. Write down the names of all those you need to forgive and all the past errors for which you need to forgive yourself. Then, in a quiet, prayerful state, go through the list one by one, speaking the words of forgiveness and visualizing the cords being cut. Your statement of power is, with a full heart, I forgive everyone who has ever harmed me, and I forgive myself for all past mistakes. I cut all cords of resentment and guilt. I am free from the past, and I live fully and powerfully in the now. This liberation from emotional debt brings us to day 16, where we address the tangible reality of financial debt. While we live in a world where we have a responsibility to honor our agreements, the energy we hold around debt is often what keeps us in prison. The fear, the shame, the constant feeling of being under something creates a heavy, contracting vibration that repels abundance. To be free, we must perform a radical act of spiritual alchemy. We must cancel all debt at the level of consciousness. This is an inner declaration that in the true economy of the universe, in the mind of God, there is no such thing as debt. There is only the infinite, ever-present, and uninterrupted flow of abundance. This powerful principle applies in two directions. First, you must mentally cancel the debts others owe you. If you are waiting for someone to pay you back, you are energetically chained to them, living in a state of lack and resentment. In your mind, you must release them completely. See them, bless them, and say, I release you from this debt. It is canceled in my mind. You owe me nothing. This frees you from the toxic state of waiting. Second, you must release yourself from the crushing energetic weight of the debts you owe. Now, it is crucial to understand what this means. This is not a spiritual excuse to be irresponsible and avoid paying your bills. The opposite is true. Paradoxically, it is the release from the fear and stress around the debt that opens the door for the means to pay it to appear. When you are constricted with fear, your mind is closed. You cannot see the creative solutions and opportunities that are all around you. But when you declare your freedom from debt in spirit, when you accept that your true source is infinite and that you are not defined by these numbers on a page, you relax. Your vibration rises. You become open, expansive, and receptive. And in this state of peace, divine intelligence can flood your mind with brilliant ideas, and the universe can arrange synchronicities and opportunities that allow you to meet all your obligations with ease, grace, and sometimes in seemingly miraculous ways. The practice for day 16 is to look at your financial statements, your credit card bills, your loan sand. Instead of feeling the familiar dread, you will make a declaration of a higher truth. Your powerful statement is, in the divine mind, there is no debt. There is only the infinite flow of abundance. I now cancel all claims of debt at a spiritual level. I release all others from what they owe me. And I release myself from the energy of what I owe. I am spiritually free. And because I am free, divine intelligence is now providing creative and miraculous ways for all my worldly obligations to be met with ease and grace. We have done immense, transformative work in these 2 days. We have faced the ghosts of our past and dissolved them with the light of compassion. We have cut the heavy anchors of resentment and guilt that kept us chained to low vibrations. We have forgiven ourselves, we have forgiven others, and we have declared our absolute freedom from the oppressive energy of debt. The great rock has been severed from our ankle. We are now light. We are now free. We are now buoyant, ready to rise effortlessly to the sunlit surface of our new reality. Now that we are untethered from the past, the final step in this creative process is to begin living, breathing, and acting from our destination. We must close the gap between our inner vision and our outer life by fully embodying the person we wish to become. We must now learn to live as if. We stand now on liberated ground. The heavy anchors of past resentments and guilt have been cut away. The chains of unforgiveness have been shattered. We are light. We are free. We are spiritually buoyant and ready to rise into a new dimension of being. With this newfound freedom, we must now take the final, crucial step in the creative process. It is not enough to clear the mind, affirm the truth, and open the channels. We must now become a living, breathing demonstration of that truth. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. Creation is a mirror. It can only reflect the being that stands before it. The final stage of this journey, therefore, is the great art of embodiment. It is the practice of living as if your good is already here, of assuming the feeling of your wish already fulfilled. This is the law of being. For years, you may have been in a state of wanting abundance, but the state of wanting is, by its very nature, a state of not having. It is a vibrational confession of lack, and so the universe, in its perfect obedience, has mirrored that back to you as more experiences of wanting and not having. To change the reflection, you must change who you are. You must now cease to be the person who is seeking wealth, and you must begin to be the person who is wealthy. You must start to think, feel, speak, and act from the destination, not toward it. This is the quantum leap. Imagine a great actor who has been given the role of a lifetime to play a wise, benevolent, and powerful king. A mediocre actor would simply put on the costume and recite the lines. But a truly great actor knows that is not enough. They would immerse themselves in the role. They would research what it means to carry the weight of a kingdom. They would change the way they walk, the way they hold their head, the cadence of their voice. In their own consciousness, they would become the king. And because their inner state is so authentic, their outer performance becomes utterly convincing. The audience doesn't see an actor playing a part, they see the king. You are now that great actor on the stage of life, and your audience is the universe. Your new role is that of a prosperous, secure, and spiritually centered individual. To make your performance convincing, you must embody the role from the inside out. This brings us to day 17 and the practice of consciously wearing the mantle of abundance. But we must be very clear about what this means. Living as if does not mean acting irresponsibly. It is not an excuse to go into debt, spending money you don't have on lavish things in a desperate attempt to fool the universe. That kind of behavior comes from a place of fear and lack, and will only create more of the same. True embodiment is a profound internal shift. It is about adopting the feeling and the mindset of a person who is secure, peaceful, and has absolute trust in their infinite source. It is about the subtle choices you make every day. It means choosing the higher quality coffee because you know you deserve it, not because you're trying to show off. It means when you're at a restaurant, you look at the menu and decide what you truly desire to eat, rather than immediately scanning for the cheapest item. It means when you give your tithe or a gift, you do so with a feeling of expansive joy, not the clutching fear of scarcity. It is the end of what we might call poverty think. It is walking through the world with your shoulders back and your head held high, not with arrogance, but with the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who knows they are taken care of. The practice for day 17 is to consciously play this role all day long. As you go about your day, continually ask yourself, how would I be acting right now if all my financial needs were already met, forever? How would I walk? How would I speak to the people I encounter? What would my dominant emotional state be? Then, do your absolute best to adopt that posture of peace, that tone of quiet confidence, that feeling of relaxed security. Your statement of embodiment for today is, I now step into the consciousness of my wealthy self. I think, feel, and act from a place of abundance, security, and peace. I am embodying my prosperity now. This internal shift naturally leads us to day 18, where we make this practice even more concrete. Our lives are the sum of our choices, and every day presents us with hundreds of choice points. Each choice is a vote cast for either our old reality of lack or our new reality of abundance. To ensure we are consistently voting for abundance, we must adopt a new guiding question that we filter all our decisions through. That question is, what would the highest, most abundant version of myself do in this situation? Before every decision, big or small, you will pause and ask this question. You're standing in the grocery store. The abundant you would choose the fresh, vibrant, life-giving organic food that nourishes your body, not the cheap, withered produce that affirms lack. You have a free hour. The abundant you would invest that hour in reading a book that expands your mind or meditating to connect with your source, not in scrolling mindlessly through social media or worrying about your problems. You receive an unexpected sum of money. The abundant you would joyfully set aside a portion for your tithe. Use a portion for something that brings you genuine delight, and wisely direct the rest, all from a place of trust and flow, rather than immediately using it all to pay down a debt out of fear. This question becomes your compass, constantly pointing you toward the true north of your prosperous self. The practice for day 18 is to live by this question. Be a conscious decision maker. At every crossroad, from what you eat for lunch to how you respond to a difficult email, pause. Ask the question. Listen for the answer that comes from a place of love and expansion, and then have the courage to act on it. Your statement of conscious choice is, in every moment and every choice, I align myself with my highest, most abundant self. I ask, what would love and abundance do here? And I act with courage and faith. Each choice I make is a step deeper into my prosperous reality. In these 2 days, we have made the most significant leap of all. We have moved from wanting, wishing, and hoping to actively being. We have closed the gap between our inner vision and our outer actions by embodying the consciousness of our fulfilled desire and making choices from that elevated state. We are sending the clearest possible signal to the universe. We are no longer asking for a new reflection in the mirror. We are becoming the new person who will inevitably cast that new reflection. This powerful practice of living as if works best, however, when it is guided by a clear and compelling picture of our destination. To effectively embody our future self, we must first know what that life looks like. And yet, there is a delicate art to holding this vision without choking it with attachment. We must now learn the sacred dance between creating a clear vision and releasing it into the creative intelligence of the void. We have now stepped into the powerful reality of embodiment. We are learning to walk, talk, think, and act from our destination, from the consciousness of our wish already fulfilled. This practice of living as if is the final catalyst in the creative process, the act that closes the circuit and commands our physical world to rearrange itself around our new state of being. But to effectively act out the part of our prosperous self, we must have a clear and compelling script. We need a vivid picture of the final scene. An actor cannot become the king without first having a clear vision of the king's life and his kingdom. For our embodiment to have direction and power, it must be guided by a clear and heartfelt vision. On day 19, we take on the role of the divine dreamer, the visionary architect of our world. The creative intelligence of the universe responds to clarity. A vague desire, such as I want to have more money, is a weak and fuzzy signal. It is like putting a blurry, out-of-focus image into a projector. The result on the screen will be equally blurry and undefined. A clear, specific, detailed, and emotionally charged vision, however, is a powerful and coherent signal that the universe can respond to with precision. Your vision acts as the destination address you plug into your spiritual GPS. With a clear destination, your subconscious mind and the universal law of manifestation can begin to expertly navigate you through the twists and turns of life, guiding you along the most direct and harmonious path to your goal. The practice for today is to give yourself the gift of unrestricted dreaming. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and allow yourself to paint a masterpiece of your ideal life on the canvas of your mind. See it in vivid detail. What does your perfect home look like? Walk through its rooms. Feel the textures of the furniture. Look out the windows. What kind of work are you doing? See yourself excelling, finding deep fulfillment, and being generously compensated. How does your body feel? See it as vibrant, healthy, and full of energy. Who are you sharing this beautiful life with? See the faces of loved ones, full of joy and connection. Most importantly, immerse yourself in the feeling of this reality. Feel the peace, the joy, the security, the freedom, the gratitude. This feeling is the fuel that powers the vision and makes it magnetic. After you have spent time in this vivid daydream, you must take the next step to begin grounding it in physical reality. You must write it down. The act of writing takes a thought from the ephemeral realm of the mind and gives it its first physical form. Take your journal and begin to script your new life. Do not write it as a list of future hopes. Write it in the present tense as a grateful acknowledgement of what is now your reality. Instead of, "I hope to be debt-free one day," write, "I am so profoundly grateful that as of this day, all my debts are paid in full, and I am living in glorious financial freedom." Instead of, "I want to find a loving partner," write, "I give thanks for the beautiful, loving, and supportive relationship that now fills my life with joy." Be specific. Be bold. Write down your ideal income, your ideal career, your ideal state of health. Write it as a story, a journal entry from your future self, living in the midst of this magnificent reality. The statement of power for day 19 is, "My vision is clear, and my intention is powerful. I have a vivid, detailed picture of my abundant life, and I impress this vision upon the universal mind with faith and gratitude. This, or something even better, is now my reality." That final phrase, "this or something better," is crucial. It is an act of humility, acknowledging that our limited imagination might not be able to conceive of the even more wonderful things the universe has in store for us. This brings us to day 20, and to the great paradox and sublime art of manifestation. Once you have done the work of creating a clear, specific, and passion-fueled vision, you must do something that seems completely counterintuitive. You must let it go completely. You must release it. You must surrender it to the higher intelligence of the universe. This is the sacred practice of entering the void, the Sabbath rest that must always follow a creative act. Consider the process of placing an order online. You diligently browse the store, exploring your desires. You find the perfect item, you read the details, you feel the excitement, and you add it to your cart. This is the creation of your vision. Then, you enter your details and you click the Place Order button. This is the act of impressing your vision upon the universe with faith. What do you do next? You close the laptop and you trust that the logistics, the packaging, the shipping, and the delivery are being handled by a system designed to bring your order to you. You rest in faith. You don't sit by the door wringing your hands. You don't frantically call the company every hour asking where your package is. To do so would be to signal a profound lack of trust in the process. Your spiritual creations work in exactly the same way. Worry, anxiety, impatience, and the constant need to check if anything is happening are toxic to your manifestation. They are the energetic equivalent of a farmer planting a precious seed and then digging it up every morning to see if it has sprouted. This constant disturbance and lack of faith will ensure the seed never takes root. Once you have given your clear order to the universe, your active work is done. The how, the when, and the through whom your good will arrive are not your concern. Your job is to simply enter the void of trust, to remain in a state of peaceful, faithful expectation, and to continue living as if you have already received the shipping confirmation. The practice for day 20 is to perform this sacred act of release. After you have written your vision, you must find a way to symbolically surrender it. Some people like to fold the paper and place it in a special God box, physically handing it over. Others might choose to safely burn the paper in a fire ceremony, watching the smoke carry their intention up to the heavens. The physical ritual reinforces the mental and emotional act of letting go. Your statement of surrender, your prayer of trust for today is this: I have planted my seeds of vision in the fertile soil of the universe. I now release all attachment to the outcome, the form, and the timing. I trust the divine intelligence that is now arranging all things for my highest good. My part is done, and I rest in faith. In these 2 days, we have learned the delicate and powerful dance of creation, the sacred rhythm of intention and surrender. We have learned to be passionate, focused, and clear architects of our vision, pouring our hearts onto the blueprint of our ideal life. And then, we have learned to become peaceful and trusting observers, handing our blueprint over to the master builder of the universe and allowing it to handle the construction. We have defined the what, and we are now surrendering the how. This art of letting go, of resting in the quiet void of faith, is a skill that must be cultivated. It flourishes best in a state of inner peace, when the frantic chatter of the ego mind is silenced. To truly surrender and trust the divine process, we must learn to get quiet enough to hear the subtle whispers of intuition that will guide us effortlessly along our new path. We must now explore the profound wisdom that can only be found in the sacred sanctuary of silence. We have now performed the sacred and delicate dance of creation. We have painted our masterpiece of vision with clarity and passion, and then, with supreme trust, we have released it into the creative void, surrendering the outcome to the infinite wisdom of the universe. We have planted our seed, and our work is to now rest in faith. But how do we navigate this period of waiting? How do we receive the instructions for our next steps along the path? The answer, paradoxically, is not found in more thinking, more planning, or more striving. The answer is found where most of us are afraid to look: in the profound and potent sanctuary of silence. Our modern world is a conspiracy against silence. From the moment we wake, our minds are assaulted by a relentless barrage of noise. The ping of notifications, the endless scroll of social media, the 24-hour news cycle, and above all, the incessant, chattering monologue of our own ego mind. This outer and inner noise creates a state of perpetual agitation, a low-grade anxiety that disconnects us from our deepest source of wisdom. The truth is, your intuition, the voice of your higher self, the guiding whisper of the universe, does not shout. It speaks in a gentle, still, small voice. In a mind filled with the clamor of 1,000 competing thoughts, this divine whisper is completely drowned out. For day 21, our practice is to consciously create a space for this voice to be heard. We do this through the ancient practice of meditation. But we must reframe our understanding of meditation. It is not another task to achieve or perfect. It is, in fact, a radical act of non-doing. Its purpose is not to get any night to force a vision, not to beg for an answer, but simply to create the condition of inner quiet so that the answers that are already there can rise to the surface. Imagine your mind as a lake. The worries and thoughts of your day are like winds that stir up the water, making it so murky with mud and sediment that you cannot see the bottom, where the true treasures lie. You also cannot see a clear reflection of the sky, which represents divine intelligence. Frantically trying to think your way to a solution is like plunging your hands into the water and stirring the mud even more, making the problem worse. The only way for the lake to become clear is to let it be still. When the wind of anxious thought dies down, the mud will naturally, effortlessly, settle to the bottom. The water will become crystal clear, allowing you to see the depths of your own being and perfectly reflect the wisdom of the heavens. Meditation is the simple, sacred act of letting the lake of your mind become still. The practice is simple. For 10 or 15 minutes, find a place where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes. Your intention is not to empty your mind, which is an impossible task, but to simply become the detached observer of your mind. Notice your thoughts as they arise, like clouds passing in the sky. Do not judge them, do not analyze them, do not follow them. Simply notice them, and then gently return your attention to a single point of focus, such as the sensation of your breath moving in and out, or a simple silent mantra like peace. Each time your mind wanders, and it will, you have not failed. You have simply been given another opportunity to practice the gentle act of returning to your anchor. You are shifting your identity from being the frantic thinker to being the calm, spacious observer of the thinker. It is in the space between your thoughts that the silence lives. It is in this silence that you begin to listen. Your statement of intent for day 21 is, I now enter the sanctuary of silence. I still my mind and body, so I can hear the gentle whisper of divine guidance. I am not seeking, I am simply listening. This practice of listening brings us to day 22, and to the birthplace of all genius. The silence you cultivate in meditation is not an empty void. It is a field of infinite potential, pregnant with every solution, every invention, and every masterpiece that has ever been created. Those million-dollar ideas, those flashes of inspiration that solve long-standing problems, those aha moments that change the entire course of a life, they rarely, if ever, come from brute force, logical thinking. Straining the logical mind can only rearrange old information. Truly new, inspired ideas must come from a higher source. They drop into a mind that is quiet, open, and receptive. This is why so many brilliant thinkers report getting their best ideas not at their desks, but in the shower, on a walk in nature, or in the moments just before falling asleep, times when the striving, analytical mind has relaxed its grip. These ideas feel different. They don't come with the struggle of logic. They arrive with a rush of excitement, a feeling of rightness, a sudden, stunning clarity. That out of the blue that they seem to come from is the clear blue sky of divine intelligence, finally able to be reflected in the still lake of your quieted mind. Your work is to learn to trust these flashes of inspiration. The universe will rarely hand you the entire 10-year plan. It will give you the next logical step. It may come as a sudden urge to call a person you haven't spoken to in years. It might be a persistent idea to read a specific book, or a strange desire to drive down a street you've never been down before. These are your divine GPS instructions, the intuitive nudges guiding you step by step toward the fulfillment of your vision. But you can only receive them, and you can only recognize their importance if you have cultivated a state of receptive listening. The practice for day 22 is to carry this attitude of quiet listening with you throughout your day. After your meditation, remain in a state of open awareness. Pay attention to synchronicities. Notice recurring ideas. Keep a notebook handy to capture these inspired thoughts before your ego mind has a chance to dismiss them as silly, illogical, or impractical. Your declaration of receptivity is, my mind is a clear channel for divine intelligence. I am open and receptive to inspired ideas, creative solutions, and intuitive guidance. The answer to every question is revealed to me in perfect timing. In these 2 days, we have discovered a profound secret. The answers we have been desperately seeking on the outside are quietly waiting for us on the inside. We have learned that true wisdom is not found in more mental effort, but in deep, receptive silence. By committing to a daily practice of stillness, we are transforming our minds from a noisy marketplace of fear into a sacred temple of peace, a clear channel through which divine inspiration can flow freely. And as we spend more time in this quiet sanctuary, a wonderful realization begins to dawn. We begin to sense that we are not alone in this endeavor. We realize we don't have to do all the heavy lifting ourselves. A vast, benevolent intelligence is co-creating with us, arranging circumstances and guiding our path. We are now ready to learn how to move from a state of stressful effort into a state of graceful cooperation. We are now ready to discover the principle of effortless unfoldment. As we learn to dwell in the sacred sanctuary of silence, a profound transformation begins to take place in the very way we operate in the world. By quieting the frantic noise of the ego, we begin to hear the gentle whispers of divine guidance, and we come to a startling and liberating realization. We do not have to do this all by ourselves. We are not lone warriors fighting a battle for survival. We are co-creators in a grand and benevolent universal scheme. This realization allows us to move out of a consciousness of struggle and into a state of grace. It allows us to discover the sublime secret of effortless unfoldment. For most of our lives, we have been conditioned to believe that success is the result of hard work, struggle, and relentless efforting. Efforting is the state of trying to force outcomes through the sheer power of our personal will. It is born from the deep-seated fear that if we don't make something happen, it will not happen. It is the consciousness of an orphan, believing they are alone in the world and must fight for every scrap. This way of being is utterly exhausting. It keeps us in a state of tension and anxiety, and it is profoundly inefficient because it relies on our own limited strength and perception, rather than tapping into the infinite power and intelligence of the universe. On day 23, we learn to lay down the heavy oars of personal effort and learn the art of allowing. Allowing is a state of active trust and graceful cooperation. It is the deep knowing that a power far greater than our own is at the helm, arranging circumstances, choreographing events, and guiding our path. Our job is not to row the boat, but to simply listen for instructions on how to steer. Imagine a person in a boat, determined to go upstream against a powerful current. They are straining, sweating, their muscles burning, making agonizingly slow progress. This is the life of efforting. Now, imagine another person in the same river who decides to go with the current. They pull their oars into the boat, they relax, and they trust that the river knows the way to the great ocean. They simply use a small rudder, from time to time a small, inspired action to navigate around a rock here or a sandbar there. They arrive at their destination feeling refreshed and energized, having enjoyed the journey. The first person is fighting the flow of life. The second person is cooperating with it. To live in abundance, you must learn to cooperate with the flow. This means learning to distinguish between anxious activity and inspired action. Anxious activity is what you do when your ego tells you that you should be busy. It feels heavy, forced, and draining. It's making 100 cold calls out of desperation. It's working 18-hour days fueled by fear. Inspired action is the result of the guidance you receive in your silence. It feels light, exciting, and energizing. It comes with a feeling of rightness and flow. It might be the sudden urge to take a different route home, where you meet a key business contact. It might be the quiet idea to create a product that no one has ever thought of before. The path of struggle is paved with anxious activity. The path of abundance is paved with inspired action. The practice for day 23 is to consciously release the need to force outcomes. Throughout your day, whenever you feel yourself tensing up, trying to control a person or a situation, pause, take a deep breath. In your mind, say, "I release this to divine intelligence." Hand it over. Put your oars in the boat. Your statement of power is, "I release the need to struggle and force. I now move into a state of graceful allowing. I trust the divine flow of my life. And I act only on inspiration, not compulsion. My good unfolds with effortless ease." This state of allowing opens you up to the magical language of the universe, which brings us to day 24. When you are in the flow, the universe constantly sends you signals to let you know you are on the right path. One of its favorite ways of communicating is through synchronicity. Synchronicity is a meaningful coincidence, an event so perfectly timed and relevant that it feels like more than mere chance. It's thinking of a friend you haven't seen in a decade and then running into them at the coffee shop an hour later. It's being faced with a difficult question and then opening a book at random to the exact page that contains the answer. It's seeing the same number sequence, like 1111 or 444, over and over again during a time of major life changes. These are not random accidents. These are winks from the cosmos. They are signposts arranged by the unseen forces that are conspiring for your good, letting you know, yes, you're going the right way. Keep going. We are with you. When you are living in the flow, you also begin to notice that you are naturally guided along the path of least resistance. When a door opens easily before you, it is a sign you are meant to walk through it. When you have to kick and shove and force a door that simply will not budge, it is often a sign that you are rowing against the current, trying to force a reality that is not in alignment with your divine plan. This does not mean you give up at the first sign of a challenge. It means you learn to distinguish between the satisfying effort of chopping wood that is meant for your fire and the frustrating effort of trying to chop wet, rotten wood that will never burn. Learning to trust that the path of grace and ease is the most divinely guided path is a mark of spiritual maturity. The practice for day 24 is to become a synchronicity detective. Start a new section in your journal and begin to log all the meaningful coincidences, the moments of perfect timing, and the instances of effortless flow that you experience. This will train your mind to look for the magic, and it will build your faith in this benevolent guidance system. When you are faced with a choice between a path that feels hard, heavy, and forced, and one that feels lighter and more graceful, have the courage to choose ease. Your declaration of trust for today is, "My eyes are open to the magic of the universe. I see and acknowledge the signs and synchronicities that guide my way. I follow the path of grace and ease, knowing it leads me directly to my highest good." In these 2 days, a great weight has been lifted. We have laid down the heavy oars of struggle and have learned to trust the divine current of life. We have graduated from being struggling proprietors of our destiny, to becoming joyful and relaxed co-pilots with the universe. We are learning to read its language of synchronicity and to follow its gentle guidance along the path of effortless unfoldment. But to float confidently and peacefully in this river of grace, we must have absolute trust in our vessel. We must know that the boat we are in our very own beings worthy, strong, and deserving of reaching the magnificent ocean of abundance. To fully allow this effortless flow, we must cultivate a deep and abiding love for ourselves. We must now explore the profound link between our self-worth and our net worth. We must discover the undeniable prosperity of self-love. As we learn to let go of the oars of struggle and float in the divine current of life, we must ensure that our vessel is sound. We must know, in the deepest parts of our being, that the boat we are traveling in our very self is worthy of the journey and deserving of the magnificent destination. All the spiritual techniques in the world will fail to bring lasting prosperity if they are poured into a container riddled with the holes of unworthiness and self-rejection. The final and most fundamental key to allowing effortless unfoldment is to build an unshakable foundation of self-love. This is not a fluffy, sentimental idea. It is a core principle of metaphysical law. The universe can only give to you what you subconsciously believe you are worthy of receiving. Your sense of self-worth sets the energetic thermostat for the level of good you will allow into your life. If, deep down, you carry a secret belief that you are not good enough, not deserving, or fundamentally flawed, you will unconsciously repel or sabotage the very abundance you are trying to attract. A feeling of unworthiness acts as an invisible force field, deflecting the blessings that are trying to reach you. To build a mansion of outer wealth, you must first have the inner foundation of knowing you deserve to live in it. This brings us to day 25 and the sacred practice of cultivating radical self-love. Self-love, in this context, has nothing to do with arrogance, ego, or narcissism. It is the quiet, profound, and reverent appreciation for the unique expression of the divine that you are. It is looking in the mirror, past any perceived flaws, and honoring the spark of God that animates your being. This love is not a passive feeling. It is an active commitment, demonstrated in how you treat the sacred vessel that houses your spirit. You practice self-love by caring for your body, this precious temple. You nourish it with healthy, life-giving food, not as a punishment, but as an act of devotion. You give it the gift of restorative sleep. You move it with joy, celebrating its strength and ability. You practice self-love by caring for your mind. You become a vigilant guardian at the gates of your mind, refusing to let in the poison of negativity, whether from the news, from gossip, or from your own inner critic. You feed it with ideas and images that are inspiring, uplifting, and expansive. And you practice self-love by caring for your spirit. You carve out time each day for the sacred practices that connect you to your source, whether it is meditation, prayer, time in nature, or creative expression. These are not chores on a to-do list. They are acts of supreme self-respect. They send a powerful message to the universe that says, "I value this life. I am worthy of care. I am ready to receive more good." The practice for day 25 is to make a conscious and deliberate choice to honor yourself today. Perform at least one intentional act of love for your body, one for your mind, and one for your spirit. Prepare yourself a beautiful, healthy meal and eat it slowly and mindfully. Turn off all screens for an hour and read from a book that makes your soul sing. Spend an extra 10 minutes in silent meditation, simply being with yourself without any demand. The statement of power for today is a vow of this sacred stewardship. I am a precious and beloved expression of the divine. I now commit to loving and honoring myself unconditionally. By caring for my body, mind, and spirit, I affirm my absolute worthiness to receive every good thing. This commitment to self-care naturally leads us to day 26, where we move from general appreciation to the specific celebration of your divine uniqueness. In the 7 billion people on this planet, there is no one else quite like you. Your specific combination of talents, gifts, perspectives, and experiences has never existed before and will never be duplicated. Your value is not in what you do, what you produce, or what you own. Your value is inherent. It is baked into your very existence. Think of a priceless, antique vase. You do not value it because it can hold water. You value it for what it is, for its unique history, its exquisite craftsmanship, its irreplaceable beauty. You would never let it sit in a dusty corner. You would place it in a position of honor, where its beauty can be appreciated. You are that priceless vase. For too long, you may have been treating yourself like a cheap piece of pottery, focusing only on your cracks and imperfections. Today, you place yourself in a position of honor in your own heart. When you begin to treat yourself like a treasure, the world has no choice but to reflect that valuation back to you. It will begin to treat you like a treasure too, bringing you opportunities, relationships, and resources that match your newfound sense of self-worth. The practice for day 26 is to conduct an inventory of your own priceless treasures. Take out your journal and start a new list titled, My Divine Gifts and Qualities. And then begin to write. Let go of false humility and acknowledge your own light. Are you a compassionate listener? Write it down. Do you have a wonderful sense of humor that can brighten a room? Write it down. Are you resilient, having weathered many storms? Acknowledge that strength. Are you a creative problem solver, a loyal friend, a patient parent, a person of integrity? List every single positive attribute you can think of, no matter how small it may seem. This exercise is a powerful antidote to a lifetime of self-criticism. It forces your mind to focus on what is right with you, not what is wrong. It is an act of remembering your own magnificence. Your statement of celebration for today is, I honor the unique combination of gifts and talents that make me who I am. My value is inherent and unconditional. Because I love and appreciate myself, I am a magnet for people, opportunities, and experiences that love and appreciate me in return. In these 2 days, we have laid the most critical part of our foundation. We have learned that our outer world is a direct reflection of our inner relationship with ourselves. Our net worth cannot grow beyond our self-worth. By committing to radical self-love, by caring for ourselves as the precious vessels we are, and by celebrating our unique divine essence, we are not being selfish. We are preparing ourselves to be able to receive and hold the immense good that is flowing toward us. We are making ourselves a worthy container for a truly abundant life. As we fill ourselves with this unconditional love and begin to recognize our own inherent value, a natural and beautiful shift in perspective occurs. We start to see that true abundance is so much more than just the money in our bank accounts. We begin to understand wealth as a holistic and joyful state of being. We are now ready to graduate to a more expansive and fulfilling definition of prosperity. We are now ready to redefine wealth. As we have journeyed deeper into the heart of prosperity, we have learned to flow with the universe and to build our foundation on the bedrock of self-love. We are learning to treat ourselves as the precious, worthy vessels we truly are. And as this unconditional love for ourselves blossoms, a natural and beautiful expansion of our desires begins to occur. We realize that we want a life that is not just financially rich, but rich in every sense of the word. For too long, our society has handed us a very narrow and ultimately impoverished definition of wealth. We have been taught to equate our net worth with our self-worth, and to chase numbers in a bank account at the expense of our health, our peace of mind, and our joy. Today, we break free from that prison. We are now ready to create a new, holistic, and soul-satisfying definition of what it means to live a truly wealthy life. To understand the poverty of a narrow focus on money, we need only remember the ancient myth of King Midas. he was granted a wish, and he wished that everything he touched would turn to gold. At first, he was ecstatic. He ran through his palace, turning roses and statues into shimmering, priceless objects. He believed he was the most powerful and successful man on earth. But when he sat down to eat, the bread in his hands turned to inedible metal. The wine in his cup turned to molten gold. And in the ultimate tragedy, when his beloved daughter ran to embrace him, she too was transformed into a cold, lifeless statue. King Midas was, by all accounts, the richest man in the world. Yet he was starving, thirsty, and utterly, devastatingly alone. This myth is a timeless warning. A person with millions of dollars in the bank, but who suffers from a diseased body, broken relationships, and a mind tormented by anxiety, is not a wealthy person. They are a modern-day Midas, profoundly poor in all the things that truly matter. On day 27, our task is to consciously craft our own, expanded definition of wealth. True wealth is a tapestry woven from many beautiful threads. It certainly includes financial abundance, as money is a wonderful tool that can support and enhance our well-being. But it is so much more. True wealth includes vibrant, healthy energy, strength, and vitality to enjoy your days to the fullest. What good is a vault of gold if you are too sick to leave your bed? True wealth includes loving relationships, the deep, authentic connection with friends, family, and partners who see you, support you, and share your laughter and your tears. This is the real currency of the heart. True wealth includes inner peace, a quiet mind, a serene spirit, the ability to remain centered even when the world outside is chaotic. This is a priceless treasure. It includes time freedom, having sovereignty over your own hours, being able to choose how you spend your precious, unrenewable time, investing it in what brings you joy and fulfillment. And it includes creative expression and spiritual connection, the joy of using your unique gifts, and the deep sense of purpose that comes from knowing you are part of something larger than yourself. When you focus on cultivating this holistic wealth, a funny thing happens. Financial prosperity tends to flow in more easily and naturally, not as the primary goal, but as a happy consequence of a life being well lived. The practice for day 27 is to take your journal and write out your own personal definition of a wealthy life. Create a mandala of abundance with sections for your health, your relationships, your career, your peace of mind, and your spiritual life. Under each heading, describe in detail what true richness looks and feels like to you. Your statement of power for today is, I now embrace a new expanded definition of wealth. I am rich in health, rich in love, rich in peace, rich in time, and rich in spirit. As I cultivate abundance in all areas of my life, financial prosperity flows to me effortlessly and joyfully. Now that we have this new, more expansive definition, we can proceed to day 28 and perform a powerful audit of our lives. The truth is, most of us are already far wealthier than we have ever acknowledged, simply because we have only been looking at our financial statements. Today, we will conduct a wealth inventory to uncover the vast riches we already possess. This practice is a potent antidote to the feeling of lack, as it shifts our focus from what is missing to what is present. Take a new page in your journal and title it, My Current Wealth. Then, using our new definition as a guide, begin to list all of the non-material assets you currently enjoy. Under the category of relationships, write down the name of every single person in your life who loves you, supports you, or has ever shown you kindness. Under health, if you can see these words, if you can hear my voice, if you can breathe without pain, if you can walk across the room, list these incredible blessings. Many of the world's richest people would trade all their fortunes for these simple gifts. Under knowledge and skills, list everything you know how to do, from cooking a meal to navigating a difficult conversation to using a piece of software. These are valuable assets. Under experiences, list the beautiful memories you carry within you, the sunsets you've witnessed, the trips you've taken, the moments of pure joy you have felt. Under character, list your qualities of integrity, resilience, kindness, and compassion. Take your time with this list. Be thorough. When you are finished, read it over and let the truth of it sink in. You will likely be stunned. You will realize that you are not starting from zero. You are not in a state of lack. You are beginning from a position of immense, almost incomprehensible wealth. This exercise performs a crucial psychological and energetic shift. It moves your entire focus from the gap which you don't yet have to the gain the vast treasure you already possess. This immediately generates a powerful feeling of gratitude and fullness. And as we know, this is the very frequency that is magnetic to even more good. The practice for day 28 is to diligently complete this wealth inventory and to spend time truly appreciating the vast richness that already constitutes your life. Your statement of realization is, "My eyes are now open to the boundless wealth that already surrounds me and exists within me. I am richer than I ever imagined. I celebrate my current abundance, and from this state of fullness, I gratefully attract even more." In these 2 days, we have achieved a monumental shift in perspective. We have broken out of the cramped prison cell of our old, narrow definition of wealth. We have created a new, expansive, and soul-honoring vision of what a truly rich life entails. And in doing so, we have made the most wonderful discovery of all, that we are already millionaires in love, billionaires in health, and trillionaires in the simple, profound blessings of life itself. We have shifted our entire consciousness from a feeling of lack to a reality of fullness. Now that we are wearing these new abundance glasses, the world around us will begin to look different. We are no longer blind to the constant stream of good flowing our way. We can now begin to see the signs and signals of our ever-expanding prosperity everywhere. We must now learn to consciously spot and celebrate these signs, no matter how small they may seem. We are now ready to practice acknowledging the evidence. Having shattered our old narrow definitions of wealth, we have opened our eyes to a world brimming with an abundance we were previously blind to. We have conducted an inventory of our lives and made the stunning discovery that we are already billionaires in the currency of love, health, and life's simple blessings. We are now operating from a state of fullness, not lack. And because we are now wearing these abundance glasses, our perception of reality is changing. The universe, which has always been sending us signals of its love and support, finds that we are finally tuned to the right frequency. It is constantly leaving us evidence, like a trail of cosmic breadcrumbs, to prove that our new consciousness is working and to encourage us on our path. Our task now is to become keen-eyed detectives, learning to spot and celebrate this evidence of our growing good. On day 29, we awaken our powers of observation. As your inner world continues to shift and your vibration continues to rise, the outer world will begin to send out probes of this new reality. These manifestations often start small, in ways that the skeptical mind would dismiss as mere coincidence or luck. But you will know better. This evidence can take countless forms. It might be finding a coin, or even a dollar bill, on the pavement. It might be receiving an unexpected discount on a purchase. It could be a friend insisting on treating you to lunch, or someone giving you an item you were just thinking about needing. It might be a new creative business idea that seems to drop into your mind from nowhere. It could even be something as simple as finding the perfect parking spot right at the front, every single time. These are not random, meaningless events. They are the first blossoms of your new consciousness. They are winks from the universe, tangible signs confirming, "Yes, I hear you. Your new vibration has been received. The process has begun. More is on the way." The power is not just in the event itself, but in your acknowledgement of it. When you find that coin on the street, you must not just pocket it absent-mindedly. You must pause, pick it up, and in your heart you must say, "Thank you. I see this. I acknowledge this evidence of my growing abundance." This simple act of conscious acknowledgement is profoundly powerful. For you, it electrifies your faith. It takes this work from the realm of abstract theory and makes it a real, tangible, lived experience. It is your proof that the law is in motion. And for the universe, your acknowledgement is like a cheer of encouragement. You are sending a signal back that says, "Yes, I received the message. I like this. I am open and ready for more." Conversely, to ignore these small gifts, to dismiss them as coincidence, is to tell the universe that you're not paying attention, that you're not really serious about this new abundant life. Imagine yourself as a master detective, arriving at the scene of your new life. An amateur detective would overlook the small clues, the single footprint, the stray fiber of thread, But the master detective knows these small clues are everything. They gather every piece of evidence, no matter how insignificant it may seem, because they know that when pieced together, these clues will reveal the whole grand story. You must now become that master detective of your own prosperity. The practice for day 29 is to be on high alert. Be a conscious observer, actively looking for these pieces of evidence. Your goal is to spot at least 3 signs today, and for each one, to offer a silent, heartfelt thank you. Your statement of awareness is, I am a keen observer of my own good. I am awake and alert to the evidence of my growing prosperity that the universe sends me every day. For every sign, small or large, I give heartfelt thanks. This daily practice of observation leads us to day 30, where we will formalize this process and create one of the most powerful tools for building unshakable faith: an evidence journal. This is different from your gratitude journal. Your gratitude journal is primarily for appreciating the blessings that are already a stable part of your life. Your evidence journal, or your book of proof, is for one purpose only: to document every new piece of good that flows into your life as a direct result of this 40-day journey. This journal will become your personal, undeniable, and irrefutable proof that the law of abundance is real and that it is working for you, right here and right now. You will dedicate a new notebook specifically for this purpose. Every time a new piece of evidence appears, you receive that unexpected check in the mail. You land a new client out of the blue. A friend gives you a gift. You win a small prize. You get an inspired idea that saves you money. You will record it. Write down the date and be specific about the manifestation. For example, the 19th of June, found a $5 bill on the sidewalk while walking the dog. Thank you. Or, the 20th of June, my neighbor brought over a huge bag of groceries for me for no reason. Just said they bought too much. It included many things on my shopping list. Thank you. Over the weeks and months, this journal will become your most prized possession. It will be your personal Bible of blessings, your sacred text of prosperity. Its power comes into full force on those days when your faith begins to waver. When an unexpected bill arrives and the old fears start to creep in. When doubt whispers in your ear that this is all a fantasy, you will not surrender. You will simply go to your evidence journal. You will open it, and you will read, page after page, the concrete, dated, factual evidence of the universe's constant care and provision in your life. It will become impossible for your logical mind to deny the pattern. You are building an airtight case for your own prosperity, with you as the lead witness. Your doubt will wither and die in the face of this overwhelming, documented proof. The practice for day 30 is to begin your evidence journal today. Get your notebook. Start by writing down any evidence, no matter how small, that you can remember appearing since you began this journey. Then, make a sacred vow to diligently record every new sign of your good. Your statement of power for today is, I am building an undeniable case for my own prosperity. My evidence journal is my sacred record of the universe's faithfulness. Every entry is proof that the law is working and that my good is unfolding now. In these 2 days, we have learned to see the world through new eyes. We are no longer blind to the constant flow of good. We have become conscious detectives of our own blessings, and we have begun to create a sacred record of our own miracles. This practice of acknowledging the evidence does something truly profound to our consciousness. It begins to move us out of the state of hoping and believing, and into the solid, unshakable state of knowing. And this state of knowing gives us the ultimate superpower in the spiritual journey: a deep and abiding inner peace. This peace is our greatest asset, especially when the outer world presents a storm of challenges that seem to contradict our new reality. We must now learn how to hold fast to this inner knowing, to keep our peace, no matter what drama is playing out on the world stage. We are now ready to master the art of maintaining peace in the face of all appearances. Through our diligent work, we have built a powerful case for our own prosperity. Our evidence journals stand as a sacred testament, a personal record of the universe's faithfulness, moving us from the hopeful state of believing into the solid, peaceful state of knowing. We know the law is real. We know it is working. And now, this newfound knowing must face its final and most important examination. It must be tested against the storms of outer appearances, for even as you do this work, life will continue to happen. A challenging bill may still arrive in the mail. A client may unexpectedly cancel a contract. The car may suddenly need a costly repair. The world of form and illusion will present you with circumstances that seem to contradict the new truth you have established in your heart. These moments are not a sign that the principles have failed. They are a sign that you have reached the final exam. The universe is lovingly asking you, do you truly believe? Is your faith just a fair-weather friend? Or is it an unshakable inner conviction? Do you trust your inner reality more than this outer shadow? On day 31, we learn to become the calm, unshakable captain in the midst of any storm. A captain's skill is not demonstrated on a calm and sunny sea. It is forged and proven in the fury of a tempest. The storm is the world of outer appearances, the unexpected challenges, the frightening numbers, the fearful news. As the captain of your consciousness, you cannot control the storm. You cannot command the winds to cease or the waves to be still. But you have absolute dominion over two things: your trust in the integrity of your ship and your steady hand on the rudder. Your ship is the new consciousness you have painstakingly built over these 30 days. It is strong, it is sound, it is seaworthy. Your inner peace is your steady hand on the rudder. To panic in the face of the storm, to fall back into fear, worry, and frantic scheming just to let go of the rudder, allowing your vessel to be tossed about helplessly, risking being smashed upon the rocks of your old reality. But to hold your peace, to take a deep breath, to keep your inner eye fixed on your destination, and to trust that your ship is more than capable of weathering this storm that is the mark of a master. Your reaction, in any given moment, is your truest and most powerful prayer. You can repeat affirmations of abundance 1,000 times a day, but if you collapse into fear and panic at the sight of an unexpected expense, then panic is the dominant prayer you are sending to the universe. Your feeling state is always the signal that matters most. Therefore, the ultimate act of faith, the most powerful declaration of abundance you can ever make, is to remain peaceful in the face of apparent lack. It is to look at the storm and say to the universe, I see this appearance of chaos, but my faith is anchored in the invisible truth of divine order. I see this appearance of lack, but I know the reality of my own infinite, unfailing source. This outer illusion has no power over my inner peace. So the practice for day 31 is to prepare your anchor. Know that these tests will come, and when they do, your first move is not to react, but to pause. Take a deep breath. Go to your sanctuary of silence. Open your evidence journal and remind yourself of the truth. Your statement of power, your anchor in any storm, is this: my peace is my power. I see the world of appearances, but I choose to anchor my faith in the invisible truth of my unending supply. I am serene and centered in the midst of any storm, knowing that all is truly well. This ability to hold your peace leads us to an even more empowered perspective on day 32. We now learn that these challenges are not merely tests to be endured. They are divine opportunities for our own growth and mastery. Instead of seeing an unexpected challenge as a problem, you will now learn to see it as a divine assignment, an opportunity for you to graduate to the next level of consciousness. It is a chance for you to prove to yourself just how powerful you have become. It is a pop quiz from the universe, asking you to apply the principles you have been learning. It is an opportunity to practice non-reaction, a chance to stand firm in your connection to your source, an invitation to express gratitude for the chance to witness the law of abundance work in a new and miraculous way. When you shift your perception in this way, you move from the consciousness of a victim to the consciousness of a powerful co-creator. The key to this shift is to ask a new question in the face of any difficulty. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you will ask, "What is this situation here to teach me or show me about abundance?" The answer will be revealing. Perhaps this challenge is here to force you to discover a new talent or income stream you never would have considered otherwise. Perhaps it is here to show you just how resilient and resourceful you have truly become. Perhaps its purpose is simply to reveal a hidden pocket of fear you still need to release, allowing you to become even more free. When you approach your challenges with this sacred curiosity, every stumbling block becomes a stepping stone. Every problem becomes a divine appointment, custom designed by a loving universe for your ultimate expansion. The practice for day 32 is to apply this new lens. If there is a financial challenge present in your life right now, or if one appears, take out your journal. Title the page, My Divine Opportunity. Then, in a state of quiet contemplation, ask, what is this here to teach me? And write down whatever answers arise from your inner wisdom. Your statement of empowerment is, I welcome every experience in my life as an opportunity to deepen my faith and demonstrate my mastery. I see all challenges not as problems, but as divine assignments for my growth. I am a willing and grateful student of abundance. In these 2 days, we have achieved a state of profound spiritual power. We have faced the final examination and passed with grace. We have learned to be the calm, unwavering center of any storm, holding fast to our inner peace regardless of outer conditions. We have transformed our entire relationship with life's challenges, viewing them no longer as frightening problems, but as sacred opportunities. And when you can consistently achieve this state, when your peace of mind is no longer a hostage to your circumstances, final, glorious transformation takes place. You are no longer a person who is seeking, attracting, or praying for abundance. The feeling of separation between you and your good dissolves completely. You merge with the very thing you have been seeking. You are now ready to claim your ultimate spiritual identity. You are now ready to embody the consciousness of I am abundance. We have come to the pinnacle of our inner journey. We have learned to be the serene captain, holding our peace in the center of any storm, anchored not in the shifting sands of outer appearances, but in the bedrock of inner knowing. This unshakable peace, this profound state of trust, is the fertile ground from which the final and most glorious transformation can now occur. For 32 days, we have been diligently practicing the principles of abundance. We have been acting as if, thinking as if, and feeling as if. But there has still been a subtle separation. There has been us, the spiritual seekers, and abundance, the beautiful state we have been seeking to attract. Today, we dissolve that separation. Today, we cross the final bridge from seeking into being. Today, we cease to attract abundance, and we become abundance itself. On day 33, we undertake the great shift in identity. Abundance is not something you can possess, like a car or a house. It is not a quantity of money you can accumulate. Those are merely the outer symbols. True, infinite abundance is a state of consciousness. It is the very essence of the universe, the nature of God, the substance of life itself, and you are not separate from that life. The ultimate truth is that you are a direct, individualized expression of this one, infinite, abundant source. The final transformation, therefore, is to stop seeing yourself as a person trying to get abundance and to realize that you are abundance, made manifest in human form. The infinite is not something you pray to. It is the very reality of what you are. Imagine a single drop of water in the vastness of the ocean. For most of its existence, the drop believes it is a separate, fragile entity. It feels small, vulnerable, tossed about by the great, powerful ocean that surrounds it. It sees the ocean as something other than itself. Then one day, in a moment of sublime awakening, the drop realizes a profound truth. Its own substance, the very liquid that constitutes its being, is ocean. It is not just in the ocean. It is the ocean, experiencing itself for a moment as a drop. In that instant of realization, all fear vanishes. How can it fear the ocean when it is the ocean? How can it fear lack when it is the substance of all things? This is the shift we make today. We are that drop of water, and today we awaken to the truth that we are the entire, infinite ocean of abundance. This is more than just a beautiful idea. It is a feeling, a knowing, that must begin to permeate every cell of your being. You must begin to live from this new center of identity. How does a person who is abundance walk through the world? They walk with a sense of ease and divine purpose, not with the frantic, hurried energy of someone who is chasing something. How do they speak? They speak with a quiet authority and a gentle compassion, not with the loud insecurity of someone who needs to prove their worth. They interact with the world from a place of fullness, of generosity, of knowing they are the source, not from a place of neediness and lack. The practice for day 33 is to begin living in this new consciousness. As you move through your world today, hold the silent inner realization: I am abundance. Feel it as you walk down the street, recognizing that the supportive ground beneath your feet is an expression of abundance. Feel it as you breathe, knowing that the unlimited air that fills your lungs is an expression of abundance. Look at the world through these new eyes, seeing not scarcity and competition, but a field of infinite, creative potential of which you are a central and integral part. Your statement of power for today is the ultimate declaration of your true divine nature. The separation is over. I am not a seeker of abundance, I am abundance itself, made manifest. The infinite source of all wealth is the reality of my being. This new identity, claimed in our waking hours, must now be anchored in the deepest level of our consciousness. On day 34, we will use meditation to consciously experience this merging, to dissolve the illusion of the separate self and become one with the universal field of abundance. Find your quiet space. As you begin to breathe deeply, imagine that your entire body is not made of flesh and bone, but of pure, shimmering, golden light. This light is the light of infinite substance, the light of pure abundance. With each breath you take, feel this golden light expanding. See it filling the room. Feel it expanding beyond the walls of your home, beyond your city, beyond your country. See your light expanding out past the planet, past the sun, merging with the light of the stars and the galaxies, until there is no longer any sense of you and the universe. There is only one, single, unified field of radiant, peaceful, golden, abundant light. You are that light. In this state, there is no need. There is no lack. There is no asking, for you are one with the answer to all things. There is no seeking, for you are one with all that is. Dwell in this feeling of pure, unified, abundant being for as long as you can. This is your true home. The practice for day 34 is to undertake this profound meditation of merging. Set aside at least 15 to 20 minutes to allow the illusion of the separate self to dissolve into the infinite ocean of universal abundance. Let go of all your personal stories, your worries, and your desires, and simply rest in the truth of your unified being. Your statement of truth, a description of this ultimate reality, is: I release the illusion of the separate self. I am one with the all-providing source of the universe. The consciousness of abundance is my only consciousness. I lack nothing because I am everything. We have now reached the summit of our inner mountain. We have made the final glorious shift from seeking to being. We are no longer the frightened drop trembling in the vast ocean. We are the ocean itself, awake to its own infinite and abundant nature. This is the culmination of our inner work, the great prize of the spiritual journey. And when you truly begin to live from this place, when you know yourself not as a person in need, but as abundance itself, your entire purpose for being on this planet naturally begins to shift. It is no longer about getting, accumulating, or achieving for yourself. You are already full. Your new, joyful purpose becomes one of overflowing, of giving, of shining. You have become a filled-up cup, and your only desire now is to share your light with the world. You are now ready to become a beacon. We have arrived at the summit. We have made the ultimate shift in consciousness, moving from the identity of a seeker to the reality of a being who knows itself as abundance itself. We are no longer the thirsty drop of water, fearful of the great ocean. We are the ocean, awake to its own boundless, magnificent nature. Our cup is full. It is in fact overflowing. And so, our purpose, our very reason for being, naturally begins to transform. The journey is no longer about filling ourselves up. It is now about joyfully allowing our fullness to spill over and bless the world around us. Having completed the inner work, we now turn our attention outward. We are ready to become a beacon of light. On day 35, we embrace our new role in the world. When you consistently hold a high, peaceful, and abundant state of consciousness, you become a powerful force for good on this planet, often without saying a single word. Your very presence begins to positively affect the energy field of everyone you encounter. Just as a single tuning fork, when struck, can cause other tuning forks nearby to begin vibrating at the same frequency, your serene and confident vibration can help to calm the anxious, uplift the discouraged, and inspire the doubtful. You change the world not by what you do, but by the person you have become. Think of a lighthouse standing on a rocky shore. The lighthouse does not run up and down the coastline, chasing after individual ships, shouting instructions, or worrying about their fate. It does not concern itself with the ships that are sailing away from it. It performs one simple, profound, and powerful function. It stands firm on its foundation, and it shines. It simply is a light, and by merely being a steady, unwavering beacon, it automatically provides the guidance that allows all ships in its vicinity to navigate safely to harbor. You are now that lighthouse. Your job is not to run around trying to fix people, or to preach these principles to those who are not ready to hear them. Your work is simply to stand tall in the truth of who you are, an embodiment of peace, joy, and abundancy, and to shine your light. Your quiet confidence, your easy laughter, your calm demeanor in the face of challenges, these are the rays of your light, and people, whether they are conscious of it or not, will be drawn to that light. They will see in you a quality of peace and freedom that they long for, and your living example will give them the silent permission to believe that such a state is possible for them too. This is a far greater gift than any sermon you could ever deliver. The practice for day 35 is to consciously step into this role. As you move through your day, in every interaction, your primary intention is not to get anything or to teach anything, but to simply radiate. In the grocery store line, radiate peace. In a business meeting, radiate quiet confidence. In a conversation with a loved one, radiate unconditional love. Hold the consciousness of, I am abundance. And let the overspill of your inner state be your sacred gift to the world. Your statement of purpose for today is, I am a beacon of light and a radiator of peace. By simply being my abundant self, I uplift and inspire everyone I meet. My presence is my gift to the world. As you stand as this shining beacon, your cup constantly overflowing, this abundance will naturally express itself as an ever-expanding generosity. This brings us to day 36. Generosity, for the person who knows they are the source, is not a duty, it is a delight. It is the joyful expression of their own infinite nature. And this generosity extends to all the currencies of true wealth. You become generous with your wisdom, freely sharing your insights with those who genuinely ask for your guidance. You become generous with your time and your presence, understanding that giving someone your undivided, focused attention is one of the most precious gifts you can offer. You become generous with your kindness, offering a genuine compliment to a stranger, a word of encouragement to a coworker, a smile to everyone you pass. These small acts of vibrational charity can change the entire course of someone's day. And yes, you become generous with your financial resources. You pay your tithe, you donate to causes that touch your heart, you treat a friend to dinner, you help someone in need, and you do it all not from a sense of sacrifice, but from a place of joyful celebration of just how much you have to give. Think of a single candle. That one flame can be used to light thousands of other candles. And in doing so, its own light is not diminished in the slightest. In fact, the only result of its giving is that the entire room becomes brighter for everyone. This is the nature of spiritual giving. Sharing your abundance, in all its forms, does not deplete you. It simply expands the total field of light and prosperity in the world. You lose absolutely nothing, and the world gains everything. The practice for day 36 is to actively look for opportunities to be a channel for this overflowing generosity. Pay for the coffee of the person behind you in line. Take 5 minutes to write a heartfelt note of appreciation to someone in your life. Consciously decide to listen more than you speak in your next conversation. Find a cause you believe in and make a donation, no matter how small, with a joyful heart. Your statement of this generous spirit is, my cup overflows. I am a joyous and generous giver of my time, my wisdom, my kindness, and my resources. The more I give, the more I have, because my source is infinite and my supply is endless. In these 2 days, we have made the beautiful and natural transition from the inward journey of filling our own cup to the joyful outward expression of letting it spill over to bless the world. We have graduated from being students of abundance to becoming living demonstrations of it. We have embraced our new and sacred role as a beacon of light and a joyous, generous giver, radiating our inner peace and prosperity out into the world as our greatest service. This new way of being, this consciousness of I am abundance, has now become our natural state. Our 40-day intensive journey is drawing to a beautiful close. The final step is to ensure that this profound transformation is not merely a temporary spiritual high, but that it becomes our permanent and effortless way of life. We must now learn how to consciously integrate these powerful practices so they become as natural and automatic as breathing. We are now ready to explore the art of daily integration. We have reached the glorious summit of our inner mountain. We have awakened to our true identity as abundance itself, and have embraced our new, joyful purpose as a beacon of light, allowing our fullness to overflow and bless the world. We are living in a new state of being. Our 40-day intensive journey has brought us to this high and holy altitude. The crucial question now becomes, how do we live here permanently? How do we ensure that this profound transformation is not just a temporary visit to the mountaintop, but our new, permanent address? The final stage of our work together is to integrate these teachings so deeply into the fabric of our lives that they become our new normal, as effortless and essential as breathing. On day 37, we become the conscious architects of our daily lives. Think of this 40-day program as an intensive driving course. You have learned the rules of the road, the spiritual principles of abundance. You have learned how to operate the vehicle, powerful techniques of affirmation, visualization, and forgiveness. You have practiced in all kinds of conditions and have successfully passed the final exam, earning your spiritual driver's license. But getting the license is not the end of the journey. It is the absolute beginning. Now, you must drive. The goal is to practice these skills so consistently that they become second nature. You no longer want to have to consciously think, okay, now I must be grateful. Now I must remember my affirmation. You want to reach a point where gratitude is your automatic response and abundance is your natural state of mind. You just drive. The way we achieve this state of unconscious competence is by building a daily structure of sacred habits that support our new consciousness until it becomes self-sustaining. Willpower alone is not enough. It is a finite resource. But habits are powerful allies that run on autopilot. We must therefore design a simple daily ritual that keeps our vibration high. Consider a morning priming session. Before you look at your phone, before you let the noise of the world's problems rush into your mind, take just 10 to 15 minutes for yourself. Begin with a few moments of silent meditation to connect with your source. Review your most powerful I am affirmations, feeling their truth. Spend 2 minutes visualizing your day unfolding in a perfect, joyful way. This simple practice sets your spiritual compass for the day, ensuring you begin your journey from a place of power and peace. Then, create an evening review ritual. Before you sleep, put away all screens and spend 5 minutes with your gratitude journal and your evidence journal. Ending your day by consciously focusing on your blessings programs. Your subconscious mind to look for more good while you sleep. It is a beautiful and peaceful way to close the day, ensuring you are marinating in a high frequency as you drift off. Beyond your personal rituals, you must also become a curator of your environment, because your surroundings profoundly influence your state of being. You cannot expect to maintain a high vibration if you are constantly swimming in a low vibration sea. This means curating your relationships. Lovingly create distance from those who are chronically negative, who complain constantly, and who drain your energy. Seek out and spend more time with friends who are positive, supportive, and who celebrate your growth. It also means curating your information diet. Make a conscious choice to unfollow negative or fear-mongering accounts on social media. Limit your exposure to the mainstream news. Fill your mind with books, podcasts, music, and films that inspire you, expand your thinking, and make you feel good. Finally, curate your physical space. A cluttered, disorganized home often contributes to a cluttered, disorganized mind. Keep your living and working spaces clean and orderly. Bring in beauty, whether it's a simple flower in a vase or a piece of art that you love. Make your home a true sanctuary that reflects your new, peaceful, abundant self. The practice for day 37 is to design your personal daily ritual. Write down, specifically, what your ideal morning and evening practices will be. Then, identify one concrete step you can take this week to upgrade your environment. Your statement of power is, I am the conscious architect of my life. I build a daily structure of sacred habits and a supportive environment that automatically keeps my vibration high. My daily practice is my joy and my strength. This brings us to day 38 and a crucial shift in mindset. It is easy to view these 40 days as a course with a finish line. This is a misunderstanding. You are not completing a course, you are adopting a lifestyle. There is no graduation day from being yourself. You don't stop bathing after 40 days because you are now clean. You don't stop eating healthy food after 40 days because you are now healthy. In the same way, you do not stop your spiritual practices. They are not homework assignments to be completed. They are your new form of essential, daily nourishment. They are the habits that sustain the new you. Furthermore, it is important to realize that this journey of consciousness never truly ends, and that is its greatest joy. There is no final destination called enlightenment or perfect abundance. Consciousness is infinite. There will always be new levels of awareness to discover, deeper understandings of the principles to attain, and greater heights of joy, love, and prosperity to experience. This 40-day journey has not just given you a new consciousness, it has given you the foundational tools to be a happy, successful, lifelong explorer of the infinite. Stay curious, stay open, stay excited. The adventure is just beginning. The practice for day 38 is a conscious mental shift. It is the act of fully embracing these new practices not as a temporary regimen, but as a permanent and beloved part of your identity. Look at your new habits: meditation, journaling, affirmations, and see them not as chores, but as dear and trusted friends who will walk with you, supporting and guiding you for the rest of your beautiful life. Your declaration of this lifelong commitment is, this is not a temporary practice. This is who I am now. I am a lifelong student and explorer of consciousness. I joyfully embrace my daily spiritual habits as the foundation of my ever-expanding, abundant, and beautiful life. We have now laid the groundwork for a life of sustained and ever-growing abundance. We have moved from the focused intensity of a spiritual retreat to the graceful sustainability of a new lifestyle. We have designed the daily habits and the supportive environment that will ensure this profound transformation is not just a fleeting memory, but our permanent reality. Our journey is now complete. All that remains is for us to look back on this incredible path we have traveled, to honor the person we have become, and to seal our transformation with a final, sacred promise to ourselves. We are now ready to make our perpetual covenant. We have arrived. We stand now at the threshold of the final 2 days of our formal 40-day pilgrimage into the heart of abundance. This is a sacred and momentous occasion, a time for deep reflection on the journey we have traveled, and a time for the solemn consecration of the new life we have claimed. Think of this as the quiet, reverent moment before a great ceremony, the moment before a graduation, where you reflect on all you have learned, or the moment before a wedding, where you prepare to make a lifelong vow. We have done the work, we have faced the shadows and claimed the light. Now, all that remains is to make our commitment eternal. On day 39, our practice is one of grateful reflection. I invite you now to travel back in your memory to day 1. Who were you when you first began this journey? What were the fears that kept you awake at night? What were the limiting beliefs about money and life that you held as absolute truth? Feel, for a moment, the consciousness you lived in then. Now, witness the path you have traveled. You began by discovering the one true, infinite source, dethroning the idol of money and putting it in its rightful place. You awakened to the creative power of your own consciousness, realizing you are the architect of your reality. You learned to wield the magic of your words, claiming your power through your sacred I am proclamations. You courageously entered the garden of your subconscious, pulling up the deep-rooted weeds of old beliefs. You learned to forgive the past, cutting the heavy cords of resentment and guilt. You built the mighty muscle of your faith, learning to stand firm in the face of doubt. You transformed yourself from a stagnant pond into a flowing river, mastering the divine laws of circulation and gratitude. You learned to embody your new self, to live as if your good was already a fact. You became the calm captain in the storm, your peace unshakable. And finally, you made the ultimate leap, dissolving the separation and awakening to the truth that you are not just a seeker of abundance, but that you are abundance itself, made manifest. Take a moment to truly feel the immense distance you have traveled. This has not just been an intellectual exercise. You have undergone a profound and palpable transformation in your very being. Take out your journal. Spend time writing about the person you were then and the person you are now. How has your thinking changed? How have your dominant emotions shifted from fear to peace? What tangible evidence has already begun to appear in your life as a reflection of this inner change? Acknowledge yourself. Celebrate your commitment, your courage, and your growth. Your statement of power for day 39 is one of profound self-recognition and renewed dedication. I look back with deep gratitude on the journey I have traveled and the person I have become. I acknowledge the profound and permanent transformation that has occurred in my consciousness. I hereby reaffirm my unwavering commitment to living by these sacred principles of truth and abundance for all of my days. This reflection brings us to our 40th and final day. This is the day of the perpetual covenant. This is the day we make our sacred vow. In many ways, this journey has been like a divine courtship. You have gotten to know this new consciousness of abundance. You have learned its ways, you have tested its truth, you have discovered its beauty, and you have fallen in love with it. Now, you are ready to commit to it for life. You are ready to marry your new, true, abundant self. This covenant is your formal declaration to the universe. It is a line drawn in the spiritual sand. It is you, standing in your full power as the conscious director of your life, making a binding promise to your own soul. The practice for day 40 is to write this covenant. Find a beautiful piece of paper, something that feels worthy of this sacred act. Using a pen that you love, you will write your own personal vow. It should come from your heart, but it might include declarations such as these. I, your name, on this day, today's date, do hereby make a perpetual covenant with the divine source of all life and with my own higher self. I acknowledge that the one God, the one universal mind, is the sole and only source of my supply, my support, and my good. From this day forward, I vow to live from the consciousness of I am abundance. I release forever the old illusions of lack, limitation, and fear. I promise to trust the divine plan of my life, to listen for my inner guidance, and to follow the path of grace and ease. I commit to my daily spiritual practices of meditation, affirmation, and gratitude, knowing they are the nourishment that sustains my abundant life. I joyfully embrace my role as a beacon of light and a generous giver, allowing my overflowing good to bless the world. I now close the door forever on my past and step fully, completely, and permanently into my new reality as a living embodiment of infinite divine abundance. This is my truth. So it is, and so I let it be. Amen. After you have written your covenant, perform a small, personal ceremony to seal it. Read it aloud to yourself, with feeling, power, and conviction. Let the vibration of your words fill the room and echo out into the cosmos. Then, sign and date it. By signing it, you are affixing the seal of your own divine authority to this new reality. Place this sacred document somewhere special on your altar, tucked into the front of your journal, or in a beautiful box. It is your new spiritual constitution, the founding document of the new you. Your final statement for our journey together is the covenant itself, a declaration that marks not an end, but a glorious and eternal beginning. In completing this 40-day program, you have not merely finished a course. You have completed your apprenticeship. You have graduated with honors. And today is your commencement ceremony. Your new, magnificent, and effortlessly abundant life now truly begins. We have traveled this path together, from the valley of fear to the sunlit mountaintop of knowing. We have discovered the principles, learned the techniques, and embodied the consciousness. You now hold the keys to the kingdom. Go forth and live the magnificent life you were always destined to live. And so, we come to the close of our 40-day sacred journey together. We have traveled from the low valleys of fear and anxiety to the sunlit mountaintop of self-realization. We began by examining the shadows, the common beliefs of lack and limitation that kept us feeling small and afraid. Together, we journeyed inward to discover the one, true, infinite source of all good. We learned that we are not victims of circumstance, but powerful creators, shaping our reality moment by moment with the force of our own consciousness. We faced the ghosts of the past, bravely clearing the debris of old beliefs and cutting the cords of resentment through the grace of forgiveness. We built new muscles of faith, learned the joyful rhythm of giving and receiving, and tuned our entire being to the golden frequency of gratitude. We have arrived, at last, at the unshakable inner knowing that we are not seekers of abundance, but abundance itself made manifest. This has been more than a course of study. It has been a deep, energetic transformation, a recalibration of your very soul. If there is one ultimate truth to carry forth from this journey, let it be this: your prosperity is not in your bank account, it is in your consciousness. Your security is not in your job, it is in your connection to the one source. Your peace is not the absence of problems in your life, it is the presence of God in your heart in the midst of any problem. For your entire life, you may have been searching for power, for safety, for love, and for abundance in the world outside of you. The great secret we have uncovered together is that the search is over. Everything you have ever been looking for, you already are. The power you sought is the power of your own mind. The love you craved is the self-love you now cultivate. The safety you desired is the absolute security of your oneness with the divine, and the abundance you dreamed of is the very fabric of your being. Stop looking outside. It is, and always was, all within you. This 40-day program is now complete, but your magnificent new life is just beginning. Think of this as your commencement. You now have the tools, the map, and the compass. You are the master of your inner world, the captain of your ship, the architect of your destiny. Go forth and live from this place of power, peace, and grace. Trust the wisdom you have cultivated. Listen to the guidance in your silence. Walk through the world as the beacon of light you have become. The universe does not limit you. Only your own beliefs can do that, and you have now learned how to choose beliefs that empower and expand you. Live boldly, love generously, and receive your good with a joyful and open heart, knowing that you are infinitely worthy and your supply is eternally assured. Your abundant life is not something you have to wait for any longer. It is here. It is now. Go and live it fully.